You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ziprecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ziprecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ziprecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Ask yourself what you will miss more, your children or cigarettes. As long as I can remember, my mother smoked. She died from lung cancer when I was 16. I could not take the chance of continuing smoking and not being here for my daughter. I know how much I needed my mom still, and I didn't realize it until I had lost her.
You're not just quitting for yourself. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
The future depends on teachers who are reinventing the classroom and starting their students on journeys that will change the course of history. Shape the future. Teach. Learn more and receive free support at teach.org.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-897-4400. That's 800-897-4400.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Looking at a gorgeous afternoon out there. Partly cloudy skies, a little breezy, but a high of 71. Not far from our record high today. A bit cooler tonight, back down to 40 degrees and mainly clear. And partly cloudy tomorrow with highs in the mid-60s.
3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 309 points today to 49,152.
Oh, between the legs, Miller! He scores! Goss to spare, scores! On the power play! Does this one a move on front, he'll score! Logan Stankoven against his former team! Svechnikov, Miller, he scores! His second of the game! Welcome back! Seth Jarvis draws the penalty and scores the goal! Ehlers out front, kicked away, rebound, they score! Will Carrier!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox here as well. Last night was a fun one. This weekend will be a fun one. This show will be a fun one, as a promise. And you know what else is going to be fun? The Big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
The Carolina Hurricanes beat the Dallas Stars last night. If you want me to be wet blanket, I can say, well, it's January, it's a regular season game, Western Conference opponent. But that's not fun. You know what's fun? 6-3. You know what's fun? Eat that, Mikko Rantanen. You know what's fun? The 3 players that I associate most with, if Mikko Rantanen wanted to be a Carolina Hurricane and wanted to sign that gigantic extension and wanted to be around and didn't lethargically skate around the ice when he was a Carolina Hurricane. The three players that I associate most with, if Mikko wanted to be here, they wouldn't, are Keandre Miller, Nikolai Ehlers, and obviously Logan Stankoven, who was part of the return trade when they sent him to Dallas. Not just because of the trade and the pick went for Keandre or whatever, but they would have had to spend a lot of money on Mikko, and that likely means not a lot of money for other guys to be their big offseason acquisitions. Well, guess what? Those three guys combined for 3 goals and 4 assists last night. How's that taste, Mikko? 6'3". Top line's playing like a top line. Brandon Bussey was in net. By the way, he's the fastest in NHL history to 15 wins, just like he was the fastest in NHL history to 10 wins. Svetch playing well. Playing well. Got to give credit where it's due. Playing well.
Do you know in the 4 games since the turn of the calendar year?
Okay, in the 2026
4 games, Aho, Ehlers, Svechnikov combined for 8 goals and 24 points in 4 games.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Do you know what that sounds like?
A top line.
That's exactly what I was going for. It sounds like top guys playing like top guys, which is always what Rod Brindamore is asking for. Seth Jarvis returned from injury. The Seth Jarvis experience is exhausting, and I love it. He remember how he got hurt back in December, missed 8 games, tumbling, crashing into the net, and taking a shot to the midsection from the post. Well, guess what he does yesterday? He tumbles into the net, goes crashing into the net, and everybody has to hold their breath until he stands up and skates away. Eventually does put on a little bit of a smirk. And then what does he do? On that very same power play, he scores the goal. He's fearless, bordering on reckless, but 100% awesome nonetheless. Seth Jarvis was back. And, right, that was all yesterday. That's just, I know it's regular season. It was satisfying as heck is what it was. It was just enjoyable. It was like watching like one of the good Fast and the Furious movies before they got too crazy, right? It's probably unrealistic that they're going to jump this car between 2 skyscrapers, but I'm going to enjoy it anyway. Right? It's probably unrealistic that the Canes' top line is going to, 24 points in 4 games or whatever. It's probably unrealistic that they keep that pace, but I'm going to enjoy the heck out of it. Let's jump cars from the sky. Send them to space, right? It was just enjoyable as heck. And then today, right, off day, but they're out there on the practice ice, and guess who else is on the practice ice? Jacob Slavin. And guess who else is in a regular sweater? There's no non-contact sweater. Jacob Slavin. That would be the cherry on the top of an awesome Sunday from yesterday. Which, by the way, Rod Brindamore did talk to the media. Walt Ruff, team reporter, passing it along with a tweet. Rod Brindamore says it is up to Jacob Slavin and the medical staff to determine whether the soon-to-be Olympian can play tomorrow versus Anaheim. He didn't rule it out. Step in the right direction. Jacob Slavin, it would be so nice to have him back for an extended period of time. I know he's popped up here and there, but it's never been for long enough, to use another term, to be satisfying. That's number 1, and we will come back to that game because it was fun as all get out. That's number 1. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
The Carolina Panthers play the Rams on Saturday in the playoffs. I said it yesterday. I'm just going to keep reminding you of that. I was on WRAL, the morning news with Ken, and he asked me today, the Panthers are in the postseason. What do you make of that? And I was like, well, I mutter it under my breath every couple hours just to remind myself that it's happening. They are the first. This is actually, kind of interesting to me. They're the first team to go to the playoffs twice with a losing record. The irony is the NFC South is just that conference, that division, because if the Bucs would have went, right, depending on how the Saints-Falcons game ended up, they would have been the first team in the NFL to go to the postseason twice with a losing record. So the NFC South just kind of, historically cranks out a few maybe not great teams, not great seasons every few years. But I've said this before, and I'm going to say this until I am blue in the face. Maybe until I am a particular shade of blue in the face with black accents.
Processed blue?
There you go. It's good to be in the postseason. I don't care if you earned it or not. It's good to be in the postseason. I don't care if they meant to invite like the Carolina Hurricanes and they just put Carolina and it accidentally ended up and you just accepted the invitation and go to the postseason. It is good to be in the postseason. It's good for the future of your franchise. It's good for the confidence of your players. It's good for the confidence of your coaching staff. And you know what else? This is something we talked about at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the NFL season. What we talked about was Dave Canales and his coaching staff needed to continue to win a few more games because it gives them little bit of credibility, right? Every coach, it's why coaches are always so frustrated when they lose a bunch of close games, even though their team is improving. They're always in the post game going like, "We're playing better." I keep telling the guys, we're developing. We're better now than we were a month ago. And it's like, yeah, you're 0-4, coach. But they're so exacerbated because just a couple of wins allows you to point at them and say, see, I'm asking you to do hard things. I'm asking you to put your body on the line. I'm asking you to listen to me. And if you do, it works. Making the postseason, winning 8 games, that gives Dave Canales some credibility. Now he can ask for more. Right now he can ask for you to buy in even further. That doesn't happen if you're at home watching everybody else play in the postseason. Not to mention that the coaching carousel is in 100% full effect, and just playing in a game allows you to watch that like you're at an aquarium or at the zoo, right? Coaches and players, quite frankly, and front office executives are sitting and watching the rest of the league deal with all this coaching chaos as if they're at a zoo, like, with the plate glass window between them and the tigers. It's like, that's pretty dangerous, but I'm protected, right? It's pretty dangerous for a coach right now in the NFL, job security-wise. But if you're in the postseason, you're on the other side of the fence, just watching it, probably a little more comfortable than you should be. That's number 2. How about number 3?
Number 3.
After what I described as a pretty rough weekend for the Triangle basketball teams in the ACC, Duke, State, UNC, Duke and NC State got back on the right track last night. Duke, number 6 in the country, beat Louisville, number 20 in the country, 84-73. There's a theme now developing between Duke and Louisville. So Louisville last year got a new coach, Pat Kelsey. He hit the transfer portal ridiculously hard, and they improved a boatload. But guess what happened both times Duke played Louisville last year? Louisville had a big lead. They had the lead at half, and Duke won. So last night, if you were following along with the Duke game, Duke got behind early. They got behind 12 points. At halftime, Louisville was up. And what happened in the second half? Duke came out a different team, particularly on the defensive end, ended up winning by 11. They kind of had a 3-headed scoring monster with Cam Boozer leading the way, obviously, but Isaiah Evans, Caleb Foster, a couple of sophomores. They, out of the 84 points that Duke scored yesterday, 70 of them came from those 3 players. 70. I think Cam Boozer scored 27. Isaiah Evans had 23. Caleb Foster had 20. The rest of the team combined for 14. You know what? I'm not even mad at the offense because what that is, it just shows what Cam Boozer needs. You need spacing. That's Isaiah Evans, 4 or 10 from 3. You need somebody else to probe the defense and be efficient, get to the bucket. There's Caleb Foster. And the rest, he's like, I'll score the rest. I'm good. Give me 12 shots. I'll come up with about 20-something points. It's that easy.
Yeah, 10 of 12 last night.
Yeah. And he gets to the free throw line so well. So many pump fakes. As soon as you even get on your tippy toes, he's just absorbing that contact and getting to the free throw line. And then NC State beat Boston College on the late night 79-71. Huge bounce back for Darian Williams. He had 22 points. I think I did the math correct. He had 14 combined in the previous 3. He had 22 points last night. The NC State basketball season is a bit, and this isn't even externally. It might be internally because Will Wade is a big part of it with how he kind of frames each win and each loss and each game in the postgame. But it seems like the reactions to NC State men's basketball this year are very similar to how the fan base of the Carolina Panthers reacts to Bryce Young. Good game. Best team ever. They can beat anybody. Did you know they're in the top 20 in the net rankings? This team is unstoppable. Will Wade, build a statue. They have a bad game. It's like, why are we spending so much money on Darian Williams? Will Wade, the hype is up. And it's so negative. So after last night's game, the world is just, they're walking around with NC State Wolfpack red colored glasses, right? They're just, everybody's stoked. Darian Williams went 4 of 7 from 3. Let's go, everybody. Matt Abel was great off the bench. We're cooking. I guess you got to do it consistently to, make those pendulum swings a little less dramatic. But that is true about their net ranking. I don't completely understand the net ranking equation, but they're up there.
No one understands the net ranking.
It's kind of like the sorting hat from Harry Potter, and I'm not even a Harry Potter fan, where I watched the first half of the first movie, so I saw the sorting hat. You just put it on and kind of hope. It's like a team just plugs in their record and scores, and then they sit there and go, come on, quad one, come on, quad one, come on. We're 19th in the net rankings. Thank you. Woo. I have no idea what put me there. NC State beat Boston College 79-71. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. As I said, it's going to be a fun show. I'm looking forward to it. The Panthers, they have a playoff game this weekend. And you know what that means? Suddenly, they're a bit more desirable. Stick around.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. I travel coast to coast covering hockey. But when I'm back home, I head to my home away from home, Buffalo Brothers, for the best wings on the planet. You can't beat their specials at all 5 of their Triangle locations. Every pro football game day, you can get Miller Lite Draft for $4.50 and Blue Moon Draft for $5.50. Pet-friendly patio too. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man. Now I want wings.
If you're exhausted, not just tired, but worn down, this message is for you. I'm Brandon Giggling, president of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Across North Carolina, many people wait months, sometimes over a year, just to start sleep care. That wait isn't normal, and it isn't necessary. At Parkway, most patients are seen within weeks, with virtual consultations and home sleep studies that remove unnecessary delays. Sleep care shouldn't have to depend on how long you're willing to wait.
Parkway Sleep, your fastest path to better sleep. Start today at parkwaysleep.com. Sound sleep, sound health.
The best financial move you can make this time of year? How about lowering your mortgage rates to 4.99% fixed APR, the lowest rates in years? How about getting up to $500,000 out of your home equity in the process? You can do it now by calling Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get a ton of cash, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and skip up to 2 house payments. One homeowner just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their credit cards and 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. Don't wait. No hard credit pull up front, and you probably won't even need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. Start the new year by wiping out all higher interest debt and lowering your bills by thousands. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
I done been to Charlotte. Matter of fact, I used to date a girl in Charlotte. Yeah, never forget, 2003. I wonder how she doing.
I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder how she doing. Yeah, in Charlotte. I've been to Charlotte. I've been to Charlotte twice. I've been to Raleigh. I've been to Raleigh twice.
You mean Raleigh?
Raleigh.
Oh, okay. Close enough.
That's how you say it? How you say it again?
Raleigh.
You for real?
Yeah.
But it's spelled R-A-L-E-I-G-H.
Raleigh.
That's Raleigh.
Close enough. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, she was nice too, huh? She was nice too, bro.
That is Chad Ochocinco on, I believe, Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp. I laughed out loud when I saw that the first time. Chad Ochocinco has absolutely no clue how to pronounce Raleigh. And there are certain words I prepare for people to mispronounce. Raleigh's not one of them. Like, if you have a last name that's like, a very difficult one to pronounce, okay, you're probably prepared for it's pronounced this way. Raleigh, it caught me. Raleigh? That's turned it into like a name. I don't even, like a Raleigh. I don't even know. And then he doubled down on it. This is how you spell it. It's like, well, where's the coming from? The name Leigh, which is the end of Raleigh, is Lee. I know Lee. I know she spells it that way. It's Lee. I guess you'd put an A at the end to make it Leah. But Ocho Cinco, apparently, he's been to Raleigh.
Raleigh.
He's been to Raleigh. Do you know what I really hope happened? I hope he's got like 3 or 4 friends from Raleigh. And like 10 years ago, they were like, let's tell him it's pronounced Raleigh. Let's just call it Raleigh when Chad's around. And then they never thought about it again until he said it on the podcast. And they're like, oh, remember we did that. I hope that's what happened.
Raleigh.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Your name is one you probably don't pronounce. You don't expect to be pronounced incorrect. Dennis Cox is just Dennis Cox.
I get Denise sometimes, on
Okay.
orders. People don't know the difference.
All right, that works. I get as if Donnelly became an Italian name, Donnelly. I get occasionally.
You should lean into that.
Well, my in-laws are Italian, so they say they're going to replace the Y with an I.
There you go.
And then it's Donnelly, and now they're on the right side. They're trying to take the Irish out of me. Either way, The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's talk about the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers are in a playoff game this weekend. And do you know what the playoffs kind of are like? Stick with me on this analogy, Dennis. I hope it makes sense in the end.
All right.
The playoffs are kind of like after being single for a long time, you get into a relationship.
Okay.
Because what's the cliche, right? When you're single, you're at the bar, nobody wants to talk to you, right? It's, woe is me. And then as soon as you're in a relationship, it seems like everybody wants to flirt with you, right? It seems like now you're the most desirable person on the planet. And you're like, I didn't change from yesterday to today. I just, made it Facebook official and put in a relationship with my new partner. The Panthers are not an inherently different group of people than they were 2 months ago. But they went Facebook official with the playoffs. And now guess what? Carolina Panthers Executive Vice President Brant Tillis will interview for the football president role for the Atlanta Falcons, according to the NFL Network and Tom Pelissero.
Oh, is that the cost of the win by Atlanta? Is that what it took?
You know what? Brant Tillis would be too much, but if the Falcons said, we'll beat the Saints, but you have to give us Tillis, I would go, well, not Tillis, but we can talk about someone else in the front office. We can negotiate there. But it doesn't end there. Diana Rossini of The Athletic. Panthers offensive coordinator Brad Idzik is generating real momentum as a potential candidate for a larger role. Jeremy Fowler, ESPN. Defensive pass game coordinator Jonathan Cooley is a name to watch for defensive play caller openings elsewhere. Panthers secondary is much improved, ranking 9th in interceptions, and Cooley comes from the fruitful Rams tree. Ejiro Evero is expected to draw, depending on how far the Panthers go into the postseason, because that actually hurts coordinators from getting other head coaching jobs, but he is expected to be in the mix for head coaching opportunities. The Panthers are not inherently a different team or a different group of coaches or a different front office than they were 2 months ago. But as soon as you get to the postseason, as soon as you have a team that is good enough to play pro, all of a sudden you look a little bit more desirable, right? All of a sudden it feels like, well, everybody's coming to talk to me. What's going on here? Meanwhile, you have to go prepare for a game. So it's like, I wish, why didn't you do this last year? I had nothing but free time the first week of the postseason. Now I've got something to prepare for. And for the Panthers, this is true of every really good team, right? It's the cost of doing business. If you are a really good squad, you're going to expect other people to come poach your coaches, right? Assistant coaches, coordinators, they're going to become head coaches. You look at the coaching trees of the good coaches out there, right? They always get taken by teams trying to get part of your success. And what you have to do is decide which ones are worth fighting for. Which ones are keystone species? Which ones, if you were to remove from your environment, everything would collapse? I do believe that's Brant Tillis. If Brad Idzik wants to go be an offensive play caller, I'm not saying that he's not a value. I'm not saying that he doesn't bring something into those closed doors offensive meetings, but I'm saying, Dave Canales is his buddy. He should say, hey, man, good luck. I'll see you in the conference championship or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'll root for you in every game except for when you're playing us, and you let that bird leave the nest. Brant Tillis, I use this movie as an analogy too much. The only way I can describe it is I think Brant Tillis is Jonah Hill's character in Moneyball. Dan Morgan being Brad Pitt, former player, right, knows the game as far as, the crack of the bat and knows how to watch the game. And then there's Jonah Hill / Brant Tillis in the corner with a calculator going, yes, I agree. Give us Ricardo Rincon and $200,000. Like, that's their job. And if you watch some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that the Panthers put out during the NFL draft, I got the same vibe.
Yeah, Tillis is right-hand man.
Right there and like almost, hey, before I sign off on this, before I entertain this trade, let me look at Brant Tillis and make sure I get the thumbs up, right? And in some cases, Brant Tillis was actually the one making the phone calls, and he was the one on the phone with other teams and running cap numbers and everything else. I think he is a keystone species for this team. If Jonathan Cooley gets the opportunity to go be a defensive play caller for somebody else, it'll be a bummer. The secondary to me is one of the very pleasant surprises of the year for the Carolina Hurricanes. Goodness gracious, Carolina Panthers.
Them too.
The defensive secondary, probably good for the Canes.
Yeah.
They could guard the deep ball. But for the Panthers, Mike Jackson, I think, has been a pretty good development story. I'm impressed by what they've done with Trevon Merrick.
Mm-hmm.
Lathan Ransom at times when he can rein it in a bit, but I'd rather have to say whoa than go. I think he's been a good one. And obviously J.C. Horn is J.C. Horn. So and Shaw Smith-Wade. They've got, I like the secondary, but if Cooley gets another opportunity, Godspeed, good luck. We'll see you next time.
And also if Ejiro Evero gets an opportunity to be a head coach or something somewhere, you got to anticipate, hey, I'm bringing that guy up with me. He might be the defensive coordinator under Evero, possibly, if Evero were to get a job somewhere.
Or maybe you want to promote him to Evero's spot.
There's that too.
There's a bunch of different options there. But Tillis is the one where if I'm David Tepper, I put my foot down, and by foot, I mean large net worth. I say, oh, that's nice. You're interviewing with the Falcons? Arthur Blank, what's he own? He owns some Home Depots, right? Okay, yeah. By the way, he owns like Home Depot. He owns
some.
That's good money, but I manage Appaloosa Management, and I might not have a store in everybody's town where you go buy lumber, but what I do have, about $30 billion with a B, dollars, and Brant Tillis ain't leaving. We'll give him GM money because the way I see it, and this is the Jonah Hill, Brad Pitt thing, this is from the movie, this is what I like about their dynamic, is I love a front office that sets up a football guy and an analytics guy and gives them both power and lets them disagree and lets them work together to compromise and make decisions that way. I think if you go all the way analytics and you ignore looking in someone's eye and trying to tell if they're a leader or trying to tell if they'll stay calm in the clutch, that's the wrong way. You end up with a team that doesn't make sense in the locker room. Meanwhile, if you go the opposite way and you completely ignore analytics, you're just going to have a bunch of rah-rah guys and you're not going to have the efficiency you need and you're not going to get the most out of your salary cap. But when you have both and you empower them and they like each other, the back and forth leads to a much better outcome. I think the Carolina Hurricanes have that in a little way. Mm-hmm. With Rod Brindamore being the guy that's been in every locker room and played, and Eric Tulsky being the guy with the calculator. And what they come to as an agreement is usually something that I agree with. So David Tepper, protect that equilibrium. Protect the Tillis-Morgan combat, right? Protect that when they disagree, it's good. And it's outside the salary cap, which is the best part of spending money on positions like that. In if you were to say, let's break the bank for a player, well, every dollar you spend on quarterbacks is one you don't spend on defense, and it becomes taking money out of your right pocket to put in your left pocket. But in the front office and the coaching staff and the support staff, it is all outside the salary cap, so you can flex your cash, of which Dan Morgan has a bunch. Sorry. of which David Tepper has a bunch. I'm sure Dan Morgan's doing fine, but he doesn't have David Tepper money. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Dennis Cox is telling me he's got something he wants to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox here real quick for my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I know it's hard to believe we're already a week into the new year, and I know a lot of people, including myself, have that weight loss goal that they want to put forth for the entirety of the year, new calendar year, the New Year's resolutions, new year, new you, new year, new me. I understand that. And I'm telling you, you need to have a plan to follow. And that plan you got to follow, it's Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been with the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've lost over 40 pounds. And most importantly, I've kept the weight off because I've been able to follow their plan. And their plan is all about resetting your metabolism. There's no shots or injections. I know a lot of people have concerns when it comes to weight loss journeys. Do I got to do an injection or any of those kinds of things because they're worried about side effects? I understand that. You don't have to worry about that with Raleigh Weight Loss Center. No shots, no injections, no steroids. Not doing HGH. It's all about resetting your metabolism. That way your body can do the natural thing. They've helped thousands of people, Raleigh Weight Loss Center has, losing 10 to 20% of their body weight. I'm one of those people. I've lost over 15% of my body weight thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center and their program. And again, I've kept the weight off. And also understand that, you know what, I want to lose more weight here in the new year. I know the plan to follow. If you want to learn more about the plan, call Raleigh Weight Loss Center, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up a free 15-minute phone call. Again, free 15-minute phone call. You got questions, you got concerns, you got health issues, whatever it might be, bring it all to the table, get those questions answered. That way you can move forward and figure out what's the best plan of action for you. Give Raleigh Weight Loss Center a call, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, will be back with the Dean's List coming right up.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending in Cary. Over the years, I'm often asked why we made the choice to become one of the only mortgage companies in the state to provide loans without closing costs as a primary source of funding. And my response is always the same. How did closing costs ever become a thing? Who was that first person who asked for a lower rate, heard it would cost $15,000 to save $50 a month, smiled and said, "That'd be great"? Recently, we're noticing a trend of large national lenders quoting low rates but with a high APR. This is the definition of what happened when that first person asked for a lower rate but ignored how much it would cost. Quotes today are a two-part process. It's not just the rate, but what are the closing costs? At Miller Lending, we simply don't believe you'll keep your loan long enough to realize additional savings. So before you throw away thousands of dollars in needless fees, pick up the phone and call Miller Lending today. 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
I'd rather ride a bike with my kids.
Faster! I'd rather play catch with my dog than catch pneumococcal pneumonia.
Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20 pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. If you are 19 or older with certain chronic conditions like heart disease or asthma, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'd rather race for some ice cream. Let's go!
Schedule your vaccination today at Prevnar20.com.
Avatar Fire and Ash has arrived.
I am the fire!
Get your 3D tickets now for the greatest chapter of the biggest saga in history.
Whatever happens, protect his family.
Critics rave it's by far the best Avatar movie.
If your father and I do not return, you go as far and as fast as you can.
Movies don't get any bigger than this. Avatar Fire and Ash, rated PG-13, now playing.
Caleb off of the screen set by Cameron Boozer. Up by 6, looking for more. Into the paint, back outside. Boozer at 3. Good! When Caleb's not scoring, he's finding others. Cameron's got 24.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's almost time for the Dean's List. But before we get to the Dean's List, a few things I want to make sure you're aware of. First, 99.9 The Fan and Carolina Ale House are hosting a playoffs watch party on Saturday afternoon. Join Paul Ihander, our program director and host of Next Up with Paul Ihander, weekday mornings from 9 to 10 right here on the station. Join Paul Ihander at the Wake Forest location for the Carolina wildcard game at 4:30. That's the Wake Forest location of Carolina Ale House. While you're there, grab a drink. They have specials every day of the week.
Nice.
Paul's going to have some stuff to give away at halftime. Bring the family for the playoffs watch party at the Carolina Ale House in Wake Forest on Saturday. I believe there's a hockey game that night. There's a lot going on where you're going to need multiple screens. You're going to want to be able to settle down. And Carolina Ale House is a great spot for it. Speaking of that hockey game, there was also a hockey game last night. Carolina Hurricanes got the win over Mikko Rantanen and the Dallas Stars. For a complete breakdown, here's our very own Adam Gold with 2 minutes of gold.
Adam Gold here, and I've got 2 minutes for a few more than two players as the Hurricanes picked up 2 big points on Star Wars night as they defeated the Death Stars. Well, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's the Star Wars reference. Never mind, the jokes don't end. And it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Visit parkwaysleep.com. Carolina got off to a great start as the top line delivered a little bit of magic, finished off by Keandre Miller.
Oh, between the legs, Miller! He scores! His first goal since opening night! Keandre Miller! Keys Carolina! It's a 1-0 lead!
Miller would score again later in the game, meaning that every 42 games, he scores twice. So we have to wait till next season or maybe the playoffs for Miller to score again. It's a joke. What isn't a joke? Brandon Bussey, again, when they needed him the most.
Now a chance for Hayes, getting out in front. Bussey challenges, and Wyatt Johnson had nowhere to go. Oh, here's a chance for the Stars out in front. Oh, dear Bussey! What a save! Sam Steele, meet the bus driver. He's not letting you on tonight.
That kept the game at 1-1. Yeah, he would throw a puck into his own net for a tying goal, but Shane Gostisbehere would give Carolina the lead back immediately on the power play. Logan Stankoven scored against his old team, and he danced around the guy he was traded for when Mikko Rantanen lost him late in the first period. Stankoven played well. Mikko Rantanen, Darth Mikko, was booed every single time Vader touched the puck. It was awesome. And then it got a little hairy in the third. Yeah, about half a minute in, Mikko Rantanen gave everybody a hush. You can't blow a 4-goal lead, right? Right?
Rantanen driving his way to the front of the net, and he scores. Mikko Rantanen bowls his way to the front. 36 seconds in, Rantanen's 17th of the season has Dallas within 3.
Well, butts were tight until this.
Ehlers out in front, kicked away, rebound, they score! Will Carrier! Not you think! And Carolina gets their 4-goal lead back at 6-2.
Ehlers really made the play. Nick Ehlers had a dynamite game last night. Will Carrier finished it off. And then Brandon Bussey got him to the house. A 6-3 win. Ooh. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health, sound off for vanquishing Darth Mikko.
Leaning into the Star Wars there. Thank you very much to Adam Gold and Rusty behind the scenes who puts those together with the production value. I'm not sure he was the one doing the Chewbacca impression, but maybe. Who knows? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's 2 minutes of gold. Let's jump into the Dean's List. Dean's List, where we highlight those with a little extra praise for those in the college sports world that we hold so near and dear. I'm starting with one off the beaten path. Sometimes I like to mix it up. Anthony Ferrari. He is a wrestler for the Campbell Camels. And Anthony Ferrari's brothers. The Ferrari brothers have made Division I wrestling history. Anthony Ferrari is ranked number 22. He's the Campbell. He's a redshirt freshman. 165-pound wrestler for Campbell. His brother, A.J. Ferrari, who's a heavyweight for Nebraska, and Angelo Ferrari, who is a 184-pounder for Iowa. They're ranked 5th and 1st in their weight class. They're the first trio of Division I wrestling brothers to all be ranked in the top 25 at the same time. Imagine being the 22nd best in your weight class as a redshirt freshman and be kind of distant third best current college wrestler in your own immediate family.
I know.
Brutal, but also impressive for the Ferraris. And also, pretty sweet last name. And I'm sure their body types led them to wrestling, but should have been track. Should have been sprinters with a name like Ferrari. Moving on, more Dean's List here. I'm going to give a shout out to Malik Brown, Duke basketball player. I realized that I didn't mention him, and I wanted to when we were talking about Duke earlier. His defense is special. Comes off the bench, plays big minutes. On a day where 70 of the 84 points for Duke were scored by 3 guys, and he wasn't one of them, you still notice him out there a bunch. I think he had 4 steals. His wingspan is crazy. Rebounding. It just felt like the defense needed to get a shout out, and I failed to do so earlier. Another player I failed to mention in our basketball recap earlier, Matthew Abel, freshman, NC State guard. I watched this one intently. Before NC State's win over Boston College, Will Wade on the radio with Matt Chazanow, the voice of the Wolfpack, said that he was going to take off, and his words, not mine here, take off the restrictor plate from Matt Abel and let him play big minutes and play through mistakes. Well, he played 32 minutes, which was 3rd most on the team, behind Darian Williams and Paul McNeil, 34-33. He had 11 points, shot 4 of 7, 3 of 4 from 3, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. He's a good one. And borderline 4-star, 5-star guy, depending where you looked as a recruit. He's now a freshman. Coming off the bench, probably not many recruits there would embrace that if you're that high of a recruit. But he has, and he's playing well, and he makes the Dean's List for it. Dennis, do you have a Dean's List you'd like to throw out here?
I'm going to throw in the transfer portal because it's a very, very tough thing for a lot of guys to navigate. And I know we talked about it a bit yesterday in regards to not everyone wants to be in the transfer portal. They're told to go be in the transfer portal. So shout out to all the guys that are actually going into the transfer portal and actually doing the best thing for their future, whether it's something that it's maybe it wasn't their choice. But those guys have a tough road to navigate, but you're navigating it nonetheless. So those guys actually electing to go in the transfer portal, I'm gonna give those guys and gals in the transfer portal, whatever the sport is, transfer portal, making the Dean's List. Which, by the way, there are actually quite a few Duke and Carolina guys that are actually entering the transfer portal. We've seen in football as well.
Keyshawn Brown just went in.
Yep.
Big wide receiver, made some huge plays for Duke this year. I'm going to build off what you said, though, put a little bit of more context. I feel really bad for the players who the coaches give the writings on the wall speech to. We'd love to have you around. We think you're a good practice player. I don't see a huge role for you on the field here. We would support you if you wanted to go find playing time elsewhere, but that's our exit meeting. And then they go in the portal, and the fan base is like, "There's no loyalty. This guy stinks. Why doesn't he want to be here?" And he's going like, "They told me to leave." So keep that in mind before. Actually, you know what? Just never go on social media or into DMs of a player and tell them they stink and all the personal things. But definitely keep that in mind that they might not want to leave. There's a wide receiver for Texas who said as much. Freshman had 600 yards receiving. Really good season for a freshman. Hit the transfer portal, and his statement was like, "I love Texas. I don't want to leave, but I'm in the portal." It's like, all right, we see what happened there. Just a really interesting world. And that's it for the Dean's List. Had to go quick today. Dismissed. But I do have something I want to tell you about. Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical. Their owner, Brett, I've been describing him. He's like a coach, but he's a player's coach. He's product or what is it? Results-based, right? We always say that about football. It's a results-based business. What have you done for me lately? But you also want to make sure your team's happy. Maynard Service Company does it all. They invest in their technicians. Right? They make sure that they're investing in their training, making sure they have quality of life, making sure there's plenty of technicians to take care of what is a really, really wide service area. All of Wake County and 50 miles in any direction, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the reason they do that is because they're a results-based business, and they want the technicians, when they walk into your house, to fix your heating, cooling, plumbing, or electric, or service, or maintain with some maintenance calls your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. They want them to be on their P's and Q's, rested, ready to work, so they take care of themselves so they can take care of you. Mainer Service Company, give them a call, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or visit them online at MainerServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. Up next, really fun night last night for the Carolina Hurricanes. How you like that, Mikko Rantanen? We talk about some of the details that made it such a fun night next.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $6.99. That's right, just $6.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. All right, let's paint the scenario here. I need windows, but man, I don't have 3 hours to go through the process of deciding what I need, when I need it. Can you help at the Aluminum Company?
Absolutely. So, first of all, when we come out to your house to look at your windows, typical window appointment may last 45 minutes, an hour. We're certainly not going to make a 4 or 5 hour commitment to talk about windows. We're there to help.
Serve dinner last time.
Right. Listen, my wife always says, I talk to my wife all the time when we have salespeople, whatever we're doing. And my wife, I tell her all the time, I can't stand salespeople. And she laughs. She's like, you are a salesperson. I'm like, well, the difference is I'm just having a conversation trying to help people get what they want. I'm not there to pressure you. I'm just there to help you get in and out. And it's a pretty quick appointment. It's pretty efficient. So we're there to help you and make it quick.
I can vouch for that. The Aluminum Company of North Carolina, online at aluminumcompany.com.
Hey, it's Amanda, and I'm back again with Coach Pete. Coach, how should people factor in, healthcare costs when they're trying to plan their retirement? Because, it fluctuates.
It's not cheap, is it?
No.
It's not going to get any cheaper, is it?
It's not. It's just going up.
You hear about the government saying they want to take care of everybody. Mm-hmm. How they'll do that is they'll take care of you by taxing you more. So you're going to pay. So I've seen some doctors out for private care, by the way. So you just pay the doctor a monthly fee, and whenever you need it, you go to the doctor. That's what I would do if I had a doctor locally that would do that. But it's not going to get any cheaper, but we need to put money aside, Amanda. Money is going to be your best friend all the way through retirement. And so we help folks put the money away. You have to have earmark healthcare as one of the line item budget items in your family budget for the retirement. So let's put together a real budget for you. Makes a lot of sense. So if you call right now, we'll do it at no cost or obligation. We'll put a total plan. We call it Coach Pete's Power Plan, put together for you and your family right now.
919-794-7900. 919-794-7900. Or text Amanda to 600-700.
Amanda Daughtry is a paid spokesperson. Investment advisory services offered by Capital Financial Advisory Group, a North Carolina registered investment advisor.
Miller gets this one. A move on front. He'll score! Logan Stankoven against his former team. From the high slot into the net. And the Canes have a 3-1 lead.
I think anytime you can plot it against a team that trades you, it's a great feeling. And I do have a lot of great friends over there, and but once we're on the ice, it's go time, and I'm going to compete as hard as I can.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan, and that was Logan Stankoven after the Star Wars night's getting to me. It's like after long ago. After just sounded like a Star Wars word to me. No? Anyway, after the Carolina Hurricanes beat the Dallas Stars 6-3 yesterday, I said this earlier, but part of the reason it's such a satisfying regular season, non-conference, non-division game is because of the Mikko Rantanen, what do we even call that? Saga?
Yeah, saga works.
Saga, where he ends up in Dallas. There's still obviously some feelings between the fan base and Mikko that were vocalized in a big way yesterday. Maybe my favorite version was right at the end of a period, Logan Stankoven, I mean, what do we call it? Like broke the ankles of Mikko Rantanen?
Hey, danced around him.
And then scored the goal that he was just talking about. And the Lenovo faithful hit him with a Logan's better chant.
That was wonderful.
That's great fandoming. That's great fanning. It's clever. It gets the point across. You don't have to cross any lines of what's going too far, what's being too personal. Logan's better is great. And after the game, he actually said he's heard Logan's better chants before. Way back during juniors, his team played against Connor Bedard's team, and well, I'll let Logan Stankoven tell you in his own words. Here's Logan.
Actually, I have. When I was playing in Kamloops with my junior team, when Bedard came to town, I think we beat them pretty handily, but the chants were going on there too, so that's actually pretty funny, kind of full circle moment. It's funny to listen to that, but really supportive of the fans here, so it's great.
That just goes to show Logan's been a fan favorite since ever. And he will continue to be here in Carolina. But also that's a big goal for him scoring. Just he'd been on a little bit of a rough patch as far as point production and scoring. So finding the back of the net, huge. Just really important. Keandre Miller, another player who I don't believe the Carolina Hurricanes would have been able to acquire and pay, or at least likely would not have without making other moves. If they did not move Mikko Rantanen into Dallas, he scored twice, including the opener, which, by the way, Sebastian Aho with the one-touch pass, and then Svech setting it up perfectly. And who was out of position? Mikko Rantanen, which ended with a goal for Keandre Miller. He then tacked on another one later. Nikolai Ehlers, similar, a player that's been acquired since Mikko Rantanen was traded away, which, I mean, if you spend whatever it ended up being, 12, 13, 14 million a year on Mikko, you probably don't go get the highest price winger in free agency that offseason. But because you do trade away Mikko, you do bring in Nikolai Ehlers. He had 3 points last night, 3 assists. That's part of what was so darn satisfying about that game. And then you go to a 6-3 win. There's going to be a lot of people that deserve, praise and accolades and everything else. But Brandon Bussey, he's playing so well that he felt like he had to give a goal to Dallas just to make it a game. I mean, if you watched the game, he literally. Maybe not literally, but it appeared literally like he threw a puck into the net to score a goal for Dallas. The puck ended up, I think, up his sleeve is what it looked like. And he couldn't find it, so he kind of flailed and moved, and he ended up throwing the puck into the net. That's how Jason Robertson got their first goal. But other than that, he's the fastest in NHL history to win 15 games, doing so in just 18 appearances. We talked about how the rough game against Montreal into the bounce-back game against New Jersey, now he goes 2 back-to-back starts and beats the Dallas Stars. With every move from this point forward that goes well, with every stop of a high-leverage chance, with every win, with every good period, I'm getting more and more all in on Brandon Bussey. Right? The way that it keeps being described is he's giving them a chance to win. Yeah, he's doing that. Now, it's easier when your team is scoring the way that they were yesterday, and when that top line is buzzing the way it was, and when you have Jarvis back and all of these other things, and when you have multiple goals coming from a blue liner. But it's part of being a goalie, right? Those games where your team has it going in front of you, you better make sure you don't waste it. And that's exactly what he did. He did not waste it. I want to have a little bit of a Svech conversation here for you, Dennis. But first, Jarvis back, played well, scored a goal. They've just the hustle and everything. It's noticeable from Jarvis. Svech, it's not always, right? Svech, and I'm not saying recently, but I'm saying in Svech's career, he's been a bit frustrating at times, right? Because he makes a couple plays and it's like, goodness, you have so much ability. And then he can go a game and you might not even notice him. And then he'll go a game and you notice him for the wrong reasons, picking up cheap penalties or whatever it is. He's been really good.
Oh, yeah.
The last, 8 to 10 games, even when he, obviously a game like last night, he's, got points and the pass to Miller to get things started was really good and he was really locked in because I'm not sure everybody even sees Aho trying to make the pass that he made to Svech if they are in Svech's shoes or in his skates. So Svech is, first of all, still a very talented player, okay? He is also 25 years old. I know that's crazy because he's been in the NHL for so long and he's had these injuries and he's had highs and lows and everything. He's still 25 years old. And there is a world where athletes don't click, right? Everything doesn't come together until they're 27 or 28, let alone 25. Is what we're seeing from Svech. The question, and this is the $1 trillion question that we've asked about Svech a billion times. Is this the new Svech or is this, a solid month that we're going to be yelling about when there's another lull later going, do what you did in January. It was so awesome.
I mean, we've seen him have a 30-goal season already. It's happened. But again, that was pre a lot of the injuries that he had. He was still very young in his career. So I don't know if this is him just adapting or just evolving, like you said, just like post-injuries and such. And maybe just, I don't know, these guys are just clicking right now. The last 11 games, he has 5 goals and 12 assists the last 11 games. Now, if he maintains that over a course of, an 82-game season, you're literally talking like 126 points. That's insane. Give him an MVP probably in that situation. But I don't expect him to maintain that pace because it's very few guys are capable of doing that. But it's also, let's not forget, at the beginning of the season, he went, 8 games and didn't have a point at the start of the year as well. So we've just seen this roller coaster up and down, up and down. It's all about consistency when it comes to Andre. That's the biggest thing everyone's looking for. Yeah, do you have to be 17 points in 11 games? I mean, you don't have to unless you're going to do it. Then obviously fans and the team will obviously take that. But I think it's just him playing at a high level of confidence where you can tell he's just having fun out there on the ice. And even if he's not scoring, he's being impactful in some way, shape, or form. That's the only thing you can ask. Just impact the game in a positive way. The goals and assists will come.
He's up to, and again, there were some real droughts there early on that are going to impact his season-long averages, but he's up to 0.81 points per game. Still below, what he was kind of during the heyday years from 2021 to 2024, but significantly above where he was last year at 0.67. Last year was also the first time in his career he was a minus and plus-minus, back in the positive there. Through 43 games, big sample size sport, I say it all the time, still plenty of time for those averages to move up or down. But, I want – it was Adam Gold, I think, who said it on one of his Storm Watches, perhaps, may have even been a show, but it was a couple weeks ago. And he called Andrei Svechnikov almost the barometer for the Canes. Like, in the postseason, if Andrei Svechnikov is playing contender-level hockey, they can go win a cup. If Andrei Svechnikov is playing win a series and get eliminated level hockey, they'll win a series and get eliminated. It's like, there's certain guys you can depend on. Slavin's going to be good if healthy. Aho's going to be doing Aho things if healthy. And then there's certain that the young guys, the fourth liners, you probably don't want to depend too much on in the postseason. Andrei Svechnikov, as he goes, the team goes, I think I'm buying into that more because there's so often when I'm watching the game and I'm going, wow, Svech is having a good game. Then I come in the next day and I'm preparing for the show going, wow, the Canes had a really good game. It's like when he plays well, it just raises all boats. And he's playing really well right now. So hopefully that continues. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4 is coming up next. Speaking of, as this player goes, the team goes, I do not believe that the Carolina Panthers will beat the Rams if only the stars show up. What under-the-radar player needs a big game? Stick around.
What's this?
We're expanding the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club.
That's a pretty big wrecking ball.
Well, with all these new scratch-offs, this place is going to be packed with new winners. Okay, let's go ahead and knock this wall down. This is where we're putting the polo field. Whoa, patience, Trixie.
This month's tickets are loaded with $90 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds winning range from 1 in 3.35 to 4.68. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Did you know that for 20 years, Lenovo has been shaping global innovation right here in our backyard? As we celebrate 2 decades of delivering groundbreaking technology, we want to thank North Carolina for being at the heart of our story. Cheers to the next 20 years together.
Hey friends, Paul Eihander here from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. And the NFL's into its wild card playoff round. It is here, and FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during the wild card round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting just for you in the app. Pick the matchups you believe in, take your shot on an upset, or build a parlay fitting that perfect moment. Then apply your profit boosts and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Visit FanDuel.com/Paul and get in the game. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Wow, it feels great out there this afternoon. It's a little breezy, but that wind is coming out of the southwest, pushing that warmth in with a high of 71 this afternoon. Back down to 40 overnight tonight and mainly clear. Tomorrow's just slightly cooler, partly cloudy with a high of 65.
4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones today down 460 points to 49,001.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Carolina Panthers, Los Angeles Rams, postseason, Saturday. There's a saying about winning in the postseason. There's a saying about winning big games. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games, right? You need to have your stars play like stars when all the chips are down. And I agree with that. But I'm going to add a caveat. That caveat is simple. If you are one of the biggest underdogs in NFL postseason history, you need your stars to play like stars and maybe a few of your non-stars to also play like stars if you want to go ahead and win that game. You need your top guys to play like top guys and a few of your middle-of-the-pack guys to play like top guys. And that's where the Carolina Panthers sit. Like, don't get me wrong. You're going to need Derek Brown to be great. You're going to need Derek Brown to get a pass rush. 5 sacks, most he's had in his career. But you're also going to need him to stop the run. You're going to need J.C. Horn, who didn't play the last time they played against the Rams, to have a great game, whether he's matched up against Puka Nacua or Devontae Adams. This would be one of the few games I'm like, J.C. Horn doesn't have to travel because no matter where you go, you're guarding somebody really, really good for the Rams. So you get where you're most comfortable, and then whoever shows up, that's who you guard. Like, the stars are going to have to play like stars, and also there's going to have to be one or two other really good surprise performances. Dare I say this might even be what I call a name game? A name game is when Mike Miller hits 6 threes in an NBA Finals game, despite the fact that LeBron and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh are all on that team, and you go, hey, it was the Mike Miller game. Right? The random games where the role player plays like a superstar, and you go, oh yeah, that's the role player game. Meanwhile, if Dwayne Wade hit 6 threes, it would have been, it's a pretty good game. But Mike Miller does it. Hey, it's the Mike Miller game. So who might we name this playoff game after? Might get a great game from Tedero McMillan. We're not going to call it the Tedero McMillan game. He's probably Offensive Rookie of the Year. You might get a really good game from Rico Dowdle. We've seen Rico Dowdle have bananas games. I know who I'm picking as a potential under-the-radar player that can make not a ton, but a couple plays that could change the game. And fortunately, it's somebody who I bought real estate on their island, their support island, early in the year, and I'm keeping it. I'm not selling any of it. Princely Umanmielen.
Okay.
3rd-round rookie.
Yeah.
Doesn't play a ton.
No, he doesn't.
But his brash confidence, which is why I liked him from the beginning. You remember the behind-the-scenes draft videos where they call him like, congratulations, you're a Carolina Panther. And his response was, what took you so long? And in 3 years, I'm going to break the bank. Like, he was that confident, even having just fallen probably below where he wanted to in the draft. But that brash confidence is why I like him for that position that he plays at edge rusher. It helps to be that, sometimes even delusional, right? If you're a wide receiver or a defensive end or an edge rusher, I want you to be delusionally confident because it helps when you only get 7 defensive snaps like he had against the Bucs. 7 defensive snaps. When you are delusionally confident, you go in there thinking, sack, right? You go in there thinking, TFL, I got this. I only need 1 play to change the game. He played 7 snaps against the Bucs. He had 2 tackles and a huge tackle for a loss. Keep in mind, the entire team, the entire game, only had 5 tackles for losses. He had 1 of them. And it wasn't even just like a run-of-the-mill tackle for a loss. The score was 7-10. The Panthers had just scored. Okay, so for the first time, the Panthers have a little bit of momentum, right? They kick it off to the Rams. On the first offensive play for the Rams, he absolutely drilled Bucky Irving for a loss of 4. That is a massive play for a guy who's probably standing on the sidelines just like a I don't even know, a caged animal just waiting for the coach to say, all right, you're in there for a play. All right, so-and-so needs a break. Go, Princely. And it's not just that game. Versus Seattle the week before, he played 9 snaps on defense. 9, not a lot. He had 3 tackles, including a solo stop. He gets out there and he makes things happen. Now, obviously, he's a rookie, and likely the reason he's out there is because you trust the veterans more. But if he goes out there for the Rams and gets 10 snaps and he pressures Matt Stafford on one of them and gets a sack on another, that's gigantic. For a team that really doesn't have a ton of pass rush and doesn't move the line of scrimmage very much, if he can just make a couple of plays in his limited opportunities, that's enough for me to look at him and go, that's a star performance. That's enough for me to look at him and go, small sample size, but star performance. And he obviously is physically pretty gifted, right? I think he's a little light than you want him. Maybe you expect him to put on some weight as his career goes along. But with that comes speed. It comes certain bend, ankle flexion, and you can get around some offensive linemen and really make it tough for Matt Stafford. Because, right, when you look at the Rams, the same equation is good in reverse. Okay? Starting with big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. If you're the Rams, Matt Stafford, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, those are your headliners, right? Those are the guys who get their names on the movie poster. Matt Stafford is exceptional, but he is also nearly 40. And let's not forget what his preseason was all about, right? Back injuries. He's not exactly the sprinter that maybe he once was. And he was never a guy that was, running for 800 yards in a season. So if you beat your guy, bit of a sitting duck, right? Obviously, he gets rid of the ball very quick, and he'll sense pressure, and he'll throw it away and all those things. But if you beat your guy quick enough, which Princely Umanmielen can, there's an opportunity there to rattle what would be one of their big-time players. And if they don't have a big-time game from Stafford, suddenly that the arithmetic that led to a 10-point favorite for the Rams is completely changed. Dennis, do you have an under-the-radar difference maker that you believe could help decide the outcome of this one?
I don't know if he's particularly under the radar, maybe on a national perspective he is, but I think Jalen Coker.
Oh, for
I think
sure.
is the guy,
Yeah.
but I think on a national perspective, I think he's under the radar. I know the Panthers fans and people that watch the team, it's like, yes, that guy needs to be the number 2 receiver. And let's be honest, he kind of is now. So if you look actually at the last game against the Buccaneers, again, Jalen Coker, we talked about it, I think, yesterday. Coker played over 90% of the snaps. He actually played 2 more snaps than Tedero McMillan did. But he played more snaps than any other wide receiver. Xavier Legette played just 16, only about 31% of the snaps, the same number of snaps as Jimmy Horn Jr. did. So if we've talked about who's going to be that offensive threat in the passing game outside of Tedero McMillan on a consistent basis. If Jalen Coker can be that, now we saw him beat, I forget who it was. I think it was Emmanuel Forbes one-on-one for a touchdown in the last Rams game. That we have seen him emerge as probably the most consistent pass catcher in terms of his ability to make tough contested catches. I'd say most reliable pass catcher in that regard. To me, if he could be a consistent number 2 threat outside of McMillan in this game, then watch out. If you have 2 legit threats on the outside for Bryce Young, watch out.
I'm glad you phrased it as you're not sure he's under the radar, because I actually think the challenge for Jalen Coker is he is currently making the transition from, I guess, under the radar to on the radar. And, up until this point, maybe up until a week or 2 ago, I think a lot of the league, they liked Jalen Coker. They knew him, right? It's not like you're going to surprise a defensive coordinator who watches all the film. But you weren't putting any more added attention on him, right? It was, all right, Coker's a good player. Let's make sure we guard him like we do everybody else. I think now it's especially with the way the run game has kind of clammed up the last month, I think you might argue that if you're a defensive coordinator, circled at the top of the scouting report is Tedero McMillan, and the number 2 priority might be Jalen Coker. And that's a whole other challenge for a young player to go from, I can take advantage of the fact that nobody respects me, to I can be successful even with everybody respecting me, right? It's no longer, hey, we can guard him with a safety, or we can guard him with a linebacker. Now it's, let's get a coverage guy on Jalen Coker because he's made enough plays that, we're not going to let him beat us unless he makes a good play on one of our best. So, as he transitions to the radar, to no longer being under the radar, I think it's important that they work to make sure he stays productive, right? It can't just be we take advantage when everybody forgets about him, because he's getting to the point where no one's ever going to forget about him. And maybe that opens up some possibilities for the other pass catchers, right? Maybe a Tommy Tremble gets loose now because safeties and everybody's paying a little extra attention to Jalen Coker. Maybe a Rico Dowdle out of the backfield. Maybe
Another name I was thinking about, Mitchell Evans.
I'm a big Mitchell Evans fan. He's gone quiet a little bit. Early on, Pro Football Focus and everything were touting Mitchell Evans like he was the next Gronk. But I think there was some small sample size math going on there. He was grading very highly, but not being asked to do much. But I'm a big fan of his.
I know for much of the season, Evans, Tremble, Jatavian Sanders were pretty much playing nearly equal snaps throughout the course of the year. But now with Jatavian Sanders having been out for a couple games now, that just increases the workload for Evans. I said this at halftime. I went on YouTube Live during halftime of the game against the Bucs, and I said the Panthers need to go just 2 tight ends and have Coker and McMillan as the receivers out there. And sure enough, they came out the very first snap. I was like, there are 2 tight ends. There's Coker. There's McMillan. But I think Evans is a potential guy that you could see. Again, talk about under the radar. It's like, well, okay, we got to worry about McMillan, obviously. Tremble's a name that we know about. He caught a touchdown pass against the Buccaneers. Okay, Coker caught a touchdown pass against the Buccaneers. We know about Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard. And all of a sudden, here's just Mitchell Evans just floating off here in the flat, might catch one and turn one upfield for 12, 15 yards. He might be one of those guys, too.
And last one I'll give you, and it's built into everything we just said, Jimmy Horn Jr. And the reason being, with his speed and with his role, he might only need 1 touch, right? He can be a
True.
1 catch, 1 touchdown, 1 huge play, 8 offensive snaps. Like it doesn't have to be a ton because he runs away from guys. And with everything we just said, right? If Jalen Coker's working the middle out of the slot, if Tedero McMillan's on the opposite side, if Tommy Tremble, who just caught a touchdown, is drawing a safety's attention, Jimmy Horn Jr. will run by you. and then it becomes a Bryce Young thing to get it out there. But he can change the game in a quick one. So there's just some of the under-the-radar players that may have to show up in addition to, it's not in exchange of, in addition to the players we know as stars for the Panthers playing like stars for the Panthers. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That game again on Saturday. Don't forget, 99.9 The Fan and the Carolina Ale House are hosting a playoffs watch party on Saturday afternoon for the game we were just talking about. Join Paul Ihander of 99.9 The Fan at the Wake Forest location for the Carolina wildcard game at 4:30 p.m. While you're there, grab a drink. They have specials every day of the week. Grab some food. Enjoy the camaraderie. Paul will also have stuff to give away at halftime, so bring the family Saturday for our playoffs watch party at the Carolina Ale House in Wake Forest.
Watch parties are fun, by the way.
Especially playoffs watch parties.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because everyone enjoys that communal experience. Like we enjoy going to games and sitting in stadiums, whatever it might be. You can have that by going to these watch parties. They're fun.
Also, if you know everyone there, and they'll be fans of other teams, but if you know the majority is the Panthers, you know you're not going to be frustrated. You know what I mean? Like there's going to be no one on a 3rd and long standing up and doing a skit. Like, oh, they're telling a story. Like, it's a no, 3rd and long, crowd's loud, everybody's locked in. It's like, birds of a feather flock together. Panthers of a fur stay together. I don't know. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis, please tell people something so I can go collect my thoughts.
Yeah, I'm gonna save you here. Speaking of saving, Dennis Cox here real quick for my good friends over at Loan Pronto. What about saving money? What about the best financial move you can make this year? How about lowering your mortgage rate down to 4.99% fixed APR, the lowest rate in years? How about getting up to $500,000 out of your home equity in the process? You can do it now by giving Loan Pronto a call. With Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan, you can get out a ton of cash. You can pay off all those high-interest credit cards and even skip up to 2 house payments. One homeowner just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They wiped out their credit cards and 2 car loans and saved $2,100 in the process. Don't wait, folks. No hard credit pull up front, and you probably won't even need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. Start the new year by wiping out all higher interest debt and lowering your bills by thousands. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Up next, we have a blind ranking. Has to do with the coaching carousel. Don't go anywhere.
Listen for college football's best through January 19th. From the Military Bowl to the Natty in Miami, every major bowl game will be brought to you live.
2nd and goal at the Ohio State 5. Snap, handoff, Brown, and he's into the end zone. That is a game sealer for the Hurricanes.
Bowl season on 99.9 The Fan and Buzz Sports is presented by Wakeman, Roofworks, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford.
Stay informed with The Rundown, the daily newsletter from High School OT that delivers high school sports news and insights straight to your inbox. Brought to you by High School OT and powered by our sponsors, First Carolina Bank and Smith Douglas Homes. Subscribe to The Rundown at highschoolot.com.
Coverage varies by plan, view contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-319-5725. 800-319-5725. 800-319-5725.
As Cousins has a lot of time
and throws for the end zone. That's a touchdown, Falcons. Drake London all alone sitting back there.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have a blind ranking coming your way. But before we do that, I'm going to do my best to keep you updated on transfer portal news that I think moves the needle, okay? The transfer portal has become a bit omnipresent. It's always lurking. And because of that, I think there's a lot of fake hustle almost from people that cover and people that talk about college football, where you get, no, what are we going to do without so-and-so? And I'm like, I don't know. Can you name a play that they made this year? A lot of times the separations are kind of mutual, right? Or not as impactful as you want it to be. And it's much, I don't know, maybe more fun or dramatic to just go we've lost 28 people to the portal without realizing 22 of them didn't play this year. When, 4 of them were hurt all year. So I try to sort through the mess and get to what's real. And I just have a quick little update for each of the 3 teams from the Triangle in the ACC. For Duke, Quayshawn Brown announced he's going in the portal today, or his agents announced he's going in the portal today. This is a guy with over 1,000 receiving yards, over 100 catches in his career for Duke, has made some massive plays, special teamer, obviously really good chemistry with Darian Mensah. I think this is one of those things that the portal is going to make teams do, which is you kind of got to pick. Is it Cooper Barcade or is it Quayshawn Brown? And your NIL rev share, your war chest may not be able to afford them both, and you want to make sure you don't miss out on both. So instead of going, lowballing both of them, you pick the one you want more. I don't know. And this is just me reading tea leaves here. I don't know why Quayshawn Brown is leaving, why he put his name into the portal. He is a Winston-Salem native, so, perhaps leaving local. So there's a whole bunch of things going on there. But it's going to be tough to keep everybody every year is what I'm saying, especially when the grass is always greener. And I think that's true for other teams as well. The other receiver is always greener than the one that they have, right? They're going to try to improve. And I think in a lot of ways that's going to turn to trading number 2 wide receivers. We need to improve our number 2. We'll let this guy go. We'll bring in your number 2. And then you can go claim theirs, and it's a little flipsy doodle. For NC State, I don't know if this is this a silver lining or not, that their guys that have hit the portal appear to be wildly attractive to those to the schools that have deep pockets. Mm-hmm. We've already talked about Hollywood Smothers committing to Alabama. We've talked about Terrell Anderson committing to USC. Noah Rogers is reportedly visiting Auburn right now. Auburn has, the SEC schools, Big Ten schools, certain ACC schools, they do have big money, right? Do you know who has, I believe, the most money? The schools that just hired new coaches. Because in all of those negotiations, I'm sure the coaches were like, I need X amount of dollars if you want me to win. They fundraise easily to fire coaches. They fundraise easily to hire coaches. So Auburn, with a new coach, just brought in Byron Brown, local guy who's been playing at USF. My guess is they got some cash. So Noah Rogers leaving NC State into the portal, visiting Auburn. There's some attraction going on there. And then for North Carolina, similarly, Kamori House, their linebacker, who was, for better, he came over from Washington with Steve Belichick, their defensive coordinator. He was also, for better or worse, in a lot of the dysfunction articles, his name was there. Some of the WRAL reporting on reckless drivings and tickets and everything as a team for UNC. Kamori House's name popped up in there. But he has committed to Arkansas. So, again, new coach, SEC. They probably have a little bit of a war chest there, and House could be cashing in. And then all 3 teams have a bunch of other moves happening in the portal. I'm just trying to update you on the ones that I think really move the needle. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis, you're going to say something there?
I would just say keeping up with the transfer portal in and of itself is exhausting.
Especially now that we have guys announcing they're staying and then going in the portal. And I'm not talking about locally, but just nationally. And then guys going into the portal and withdrawing their names. And then guys committing to go there. But then, I actually want to go there. And then coaches that are, never mind. It's chaotic. And you know what's that? This is just me being an old man. if you click on like 2 articles about the transfer portal on your Twitter,
Mhm.
Twitter's like, oh, you like the transfer portal? Oh, you do you? Well, here. And then you just get all of these updates on like the leading tackler from Buffalo is visiting Western Michigan today. And I don't care about that at all. Oh, the leading tackler from Washington State is entertaining Arizona and Arizona State this weekend. Why? I don't. Anyway, clean up my feed, Twitter. Is that how it works? Can I just yell that and they'll do it?
That's usually how it works.
Hey, Grok, clean up my feed. Does that work? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's go ahead and jump into a blind ranking.
All right, the coaching carousel. Well, there's a lot of coaching vacancies. There's 7 coaching vacancies in the NFL right now. And Tim?
And there might be more. Do you know what's crazy? Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but this is hilarious to me. John Harbaugh's agent told I think it was Adam Schefter.
Yeah.
That he had been contacted by 7 teams within 45 minutes of the news breaking that he was fired by the Baltimore Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
There are only 6 non-Ravens openings.
Yeah.
So somebody who actively has a head coach hired and has not been fired reached out to John Harbaugh's agent. So every coach that even has a job has to be like Henry Hill, right? Ray Liotta from Goodfellas, just paranoid. Like, was that them? Was that me? Are they going to replace me with John Harbaugh? Like, just terrifying.
All right, so I'm going to give you a list of names, potential head coaching candidates. You're going to blindly rank them 1 through 5. You don't know the names I'm going to give you. Once you put someone in a particular slot, that slot is taken. All right, so the first name I'm going to give you, Tim, for potential head coaches in the NFL, blind ranking, Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
Did not coach this past season, most recently of the Dallas Cowboys.
Here's what I think Mike McCarthy is good for, and no disrespect intended to Mike McCarthy. He is a professional coach. So if you are a wildly, severely dysfunctional franchise, I think he can be the guy before the guy, right? You can hire him, keep him for 3 or 4 years. He'll get you to competency. I don't know if he has the Super Bowl in him anymore. He did win one with Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, but
that team was stacked.
It's been a while. I'm also just not like, I think I'm putting him 5.
McCarthy 5.
5. And part of this is just my philosophy, right? I think coaching is similar to a bunch of like the really cool glitzy industries, in that there's a billion people that want to do it, and only a small handful get the opportunities to do it at the highest level. I mean, even college, right? Being a college coordinator is just so fiercely competitive. If a guy has shown you like he kind of is what he is, and you have the opportunity to swing for the fences on maybe a newer person that's earned their way up, I lean towards giving the new person the opportunity, because that person might be Sean McVay, right? It might be one of the all-time greats. We're pretty confident Mike McCarthy is middle of the pack. So I'm putting Mike McCarthy 5th.
Okay, Mike McCarthy 5. All right, next name. Former Carolina Panther offensive coordinator and current Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator, Joe Brady.
Joe Brady, I'm going 4.
And just bottom of the list right away.
Honestly, I do think it's kind of a weaker class. Last year, Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel, some guys right at the top are like, oh, these guys are studs. I don't know if there's those out there this year. But Joe Brady, there used to be a joke, and this is going to be just a ricochet shot towards an old coach. Used to be a joke that Adam Gase, like his kid's private school, should really be like the check should come from Peyton Manning, because Adam Gase was a coordinator for Peyton Manning, and then he got all these head coaching opportunities, and it's like really Peyton Manning was his own coordinator. Josh Allen might be one of those dudes where if you get to be a coordinator for him, the offense is just good, and then you get opportunities. Are we sure Brian Daboll is a good offensive coach? Or did he happen to be like a position coach for an offense with Tom Brady and then get to be the coordinator for Josh Allen? And Josh Allen's success just was transitioned to him. And that might happen with Joe Brady. I really like what Joe Brady did as part of the offensive staff for LSU in 2019. I don't like what he did with the Panthers. And what he's done with the Bills, I'm not sure if I give that to him or just straight Josh Allen. So give me Joe Brady as number 4.
Okay. Just taking them all right to the bottom of the list. All right, so you have 1, 2, and 3 available. I'll give you Mark McCarthy. You put him at 5. I gave you Joe Brady. You put him at number 4. So you have 1, 2, and 3 available.
Is there a theme here? Are these all going to be like quarterback last names? J.J. McCarthy, Tom Brady? Is this next one going to be a Manning of some kind?
No, actually, it's not yet. Eli Manning. I'm kidding. Next one on this list is Kevin Stefanski, former Cleveland Browns head coach. 2-time NFL Coach of the Year, by the way.
I think Kevin Stefanski is top 2. Okay? I have 2 guys in the top tier. I'm not putting him second. I might put him 1. I got to talk it out first because I don't know if you're going to give me the other guy. Kevin Stefanski, I'm going against what I just said for McCarthy. Like, I don't want to retread. I want to give someone else another chance. He's a 2-time coach. I think he's a really, really good coach, and I think the Browns really, really held him back. If they don't make the Deshaun Watson trade, which how far back did that set the Browns? 10 years? If they don't make the Deshaun Watson trade and ensuing ridiculous contract, which was all guaranteed and they're still trying to dig their way out of, I think Stefanski's still their coach. I think they've had success. I think they're doing well. So I'll put Stefanski 2. And I'm going to swing for the fences that you give me the guy who I think is number 1. But I'm putting Stefanski 2.
Okay, so you have Kevin Stefanski at number 2. I gave you Mike McCarthy. You put him at number 5. I gave you Joe Brady. You put him at number 4. I gave you Kevin Stefanski. You put him at 2, which means you have number 1 and number 3 available. The next one on the list is Brian Flores, Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator.
I'm comfortable with him 3. Okay. I think he's a wildly good defensive play caller. Mm-hmm. I think he's getting a little bit of what we used to give Bill Belichick, which was like, don't start your fantasy quarterback against Brian Flores because he's going to confuse the heck out of him, especially if he's a young quarterback. I think he's a really, really good defensive play caller, defensive mind. I don't think he gets a head coaching job, though, because I believe he's still actively suing the NFL. And I just think owners don't like when you are actively suing an organization that they are a part of. But he is a very, very good football mind.
All right, last one. All right, so I gave you Mike McCarthy first. You put him at 5.
Yep.
I gave you Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator for the Bills. You put him at number 4. I gave you former Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski. You put him at number 2. I gave you former Dolphins head coach and now current Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores. You put him at number 3, which means the number 1 slot on your blind ranking of potential head coaching candidates goes to Seahawks offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak.
Perfect. That's what I was hoping for.
Oh, were you?
That is exactly what I was
thought
hoping
you were holding out for Harbaugh.
I do think Harbaugh is very good, but I didn't think you'd give him to me. And quite frankly, I had forgotten. I put the top 2 as Stefanski and Kubiak before Harbaugh was fired, and he should be number 1 in his own tier. But I forgot about it, and it didn't come back to burn me.
There you go.
Kubiak, number 1. He's in that group that I talked about. He's right now play calling for Seattle, which, I mean, that offense is humming.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know what I love most about the way he play calls? JSN.
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
It's known, right? There are certain plays out there where it's like the ball is going to go to Jackson Smith and Jigba, and he schemes them open anyway. If you look at some of the route breakdowns, he is not like, it's not like Julio Jones used to be on go routes, where it's like he's the number 1 go route runner in the world, and everything else is kind of me. The analytics don't love as much, but the go route. So he's good at everything. He's not the best at anything, JSN, but the offense just gives him an opportunity to do everything. If I'm a Jets, if I am Falcons, if I'm any of these teams that feel like they have a number 1 wide receiver, Clint Kubiak knows how to get the ball to your number 1 wide receiver. Garrett Wilson, Drake London, these guys will be schemed open, right? Even if you're the Ravens with Zay Flowers, like, he's a really good play caller. And I've said it time and time and time again, offensive play caller is the number 1 place where you can spend your money as an owner to improve your team a ton, and it doesn't count against the cap. That's really important. There might not be, like, quarterback's most important person on the offense. Offensive play caller might be more important than anybody else. Like, more important than left tackles or number 1 wide receivers. Like, they're that important. So if Kubiak is that dude, I'd rather figure that out than run back another retread and just be confident that they know how to use their timeouts. I'll live with a couple rookie coaching mistakes from Clint Kubiak if it might mean I get one of the best play callers in the league. Not to mention, the Shanahan coaching tree that everybody gets really excited about?
Oh, yeah.
I think it should be hyphenated. Either Shanahan-Kubiak coaching tree or Kubiak-Shanahan coaching tree. Gary Kubiak was on all of those Mike Shanahan staffs where they had all the assistants. And a lot of times Mike Shanahan was calling timeouts while Gary Kubiak was designing the offense. And Gary Kubiak has as much of an impact on all of the Kyle Shanahans, the McVays, everybody that came out of that group. And obviously Clint Kubiak is his son, so put him on that list. I like Clint Kubiak as an option.
I think he was the Saints offensive coordinator for a year, but then Dennis Allen got fired midway through the year and all that kind of stuff, and they obviously hired Kellen Moore.
And he's been on the Niners staff, he's been on the Broncos staff, Vikings staff. I think a long time ago he was on Kansas City staff, early in Andy Reid's tenure.
He was the coach at Kansas. He's a wide receiver coach at Kansas.
Oh, at Kansas. Maybe that's what I read probably on his Wikipedia, like the Jayhawks.
Yes.
All right, so there's a lot of different places he's been. But I'm really impressed with what he's doing with Seattle. And yes, I'm really glad now you didn't give me Kubiak and then John Harbaugh, because I would put Kubiak at 1 when there's definitely a Harbaugh decision there. That I accidentally played that one very well. That rather be lucky than good.
You're lucky I didn't say Belichick.
Where would I put Belichick? I guess we may never know. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That was a fun one. Partially because I completely messed up. That is blind ranking.
Where would Ejiro Evero rank among those guys?
Gosh, he is an enigma to me. At times, I don't know if I've ever been as frustrated with a coach as I was with some of the defensive decisions made last year by the Carolina Panthers. But then this year you look at some of the production and you go, I still disagree with a lot of what you're doing, but the defense is playing much better. So I guess more power to you. I don't think if I were an owner, I don't think I would hire him to be my head coach. But if I were the owner and he were my coordinator, I wouldn't be surprised that he's being requested for interviews and things.
Sure.
It's a really weird place. So in that list, I'd probably put him somewhere in the Brady McCarthy range. Not near the top of my list, but you could do worse. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There's a little blind ranking action for you. It is also time. We have a couple of kind of benchmarks here in the middle of the show on Wednesday. It's now time for Hurricanes and Cons.
But to play great defense, you need one thing above all else. That starts with a W. Confidence.
Hurricanes and Cons. What are you most confident about? What are you most concerned about when it comes to the Carolina Hurricanes? Interesting time for the Canes. Seth Jarvis returned from an 8-game absence due to an injury yesterday. Jacob Slavin today at their off-day practice. For the first time in a while, not in a non-contact sweater. So perhaps he's a day or two away from being back on the ice in an official capacity for the Carolina Hurricanes. That's just kind of setting the stage a little bit for you. What are you most confident in? What are you most concerned about for the Carolina Hurricanes? Dennis, why don't you lead us off this time? What are you most concerned about for the Canes?
My concern with this team is still goaltending now that Pyotr Kochetkov isn't there. Because now you're really going to have to rely on Freddie Anderson. At some point, you're going to need Freddie Anderson to step up and maybe even carry a stretch where he has to start 3 games because, knock on wood, Brandon Busty gets a little nicked up or whatever it might be, or maybe Busty has a little bit of a cold stretch. It's a concern for me going forward because now you don't have that third option available.
Mine is consistency.
And that's fair.
There has been some real ups and downs recently where the good games look really good and the bad games leave a lot to be desired. These are probably paired together because if you do look at some of the inconsistency, it seems to be really barring the Montreal game. Like when Bussy's in net, they tend to play well, and when Freddie's in net, they tend to not play well. So perhaps these are paired together. But, for so long, maybe I took it for granted. The Canes system was, I don't want to say it was slump-proof, but it was like when the Canes system is running itself well, everybody's bought in, they're on the same page, You're not going to win every game. That'd be ridiculous. But you feel in every game. There's been some where you're like, oh, they're just flat today. It's just not happening. And that's rare. So that consistency is what's a little worrisome for me. The other side of cons and cons is much more fun to talk about. Other than concerns, confidence. What are you most confident about?
I'm confident. I've said this multiple times throughout the season. It's their lineup versatility.
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, is a big confidence for the fact that you can have Taylor Hall jump up on the second line when Seth Jarvis is out, and then when Seth Jarvis comes back, you can keep Taylor Hall in your second line playing alongside Stakeoven and Blake, and that line has been producing. You have Ehlers playing up there with Aho and Svechnikov, and they've been on absolute tear right now. And the fact that you can put Jarvis with Stahl and with Martinook, and that line can still produce, and Jarvis can still be his effective self. The fact that you can move guys up and down the lineup and interchange these parts so easily is such a benefit to Rob Brind'Amour, because he's needed it with all the injuries that they've had during the course of the season. And unfortunately, knock on wood, someone else will get nicked up. Heck, we saw Noah Phillip yesterday leave the game, and it felt like Rob was implying today at practice it might be concussion symptoms or something along those lines. Not entirely sure, but nonetheless, you have the versatility in your lineup to move guys around. Even with your defensive pairings, you can switch guys around.
Just to clean that up a little bit, I want to just double check since don't want to pass along anything that is. Walt Ruff 3 hours ago tweeted out, in addition to an update on Slavin, where Walt said that Jacob Slavin and the medical staff will be the ones to determine whether he plays or not tomorrow versus Anaheim. Walt Ruff added Noah Phillip is being evaluated for a concussion.
Okay.
So that's been passed. Walt Ruff being Canes team reporter, so that's coming from inside the building. He is being evaluated for a concussion. My confidence, we talked about it earlier, it's the top line. Recently, Svech and Ehlers have been really good. Aho, he's a point-per-game player now. If you look at the season, 43 points, 43 games. He is back up to being a point-per-game player. It's funny how when Aho kind of falls to like 0.85 points per game, the Warriors are very, very, very loud. And then when he has a 5-point game, 3-point game, 2-point game, 4-point game, and he gets back up to a point per game, they don't just as loudly say, oh, good, he's back. They just kind of go silent and pretend like nobody remembers how worried they were. I'm so far into the I don't worry about Sebastian Aho camp. That doesn't mean I don't get greedy and want more from him, because I still think he's an elite talent. But he's good, and you put Ehlers and Svech both buzzing around him. They're going to score. The power play, obviously, those three guys are a big part of it. It's been really good. Last night, it was really good. So those three guys are. And now, who knows? Maybe you mix Jarvis in there occasionally, right? There's the lineup versatility you talked about. Whoever's on the top line, I'm pretty confident.
So the last 4 games, that top line of Ehlers, Svech, Aho, 8 goals and 24 points combined.
It's a lot.
It's insane.
That's a lot.
That trio is averaging. I'm going to try and do an on-air math right now. 6 points. Yes. 6 points per game.
That's
6
unreal.
points per game. That is insane. By the way, Sebastian Aho, the last 11 games, so we gave the stat line with Andrei Svechnikov, 5 goals, 12 assists in the last 11 games for Andrei. Sebastian Aho, 8 goals, 9 assists, 17 points in the last 11 games. 4 even strength, 3 on the power play, and a shorthanded goal.
Like the Keandre Miller goal yesterday, the one that opened the scoring. The pass from Aho against the boards to Svech, bananas. The feel, seeing the entire ice, putting it perfectly for Miller from Svech, bananas. Miller scoring, obviously great, but it's hard to argue that those guys aren't doing. Or the the second Miller goal was set up by Ehlers keeping it in and playing it off the wall.
Right.
It's they're just so good and playing so well and seeing the ice so well. It's exciting. So the top line is my confidence. And as you can tell, I just got really excited. Just like, hey, remember when they did? I felt like Chris Farley on the old, like when he's interviewing Paul McCartney on the Chris Farley show. Remember when you sang, "Hey Jude"?
That was cool.
That was awesome. Like, I feel like I just did that. Like, remember the goal from Keandre Miller and Ehlers set him up off the wall? That was cool. Yeah.
By the way, the last 11 games for Ehlers, 3 goals, 9 assists, so 12 points.
Yeah. Remember when you had 12 goals or 12 points? That was awesome. Gosh, such an idiot. Anyway, The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm excited just talking about it. They're playing well. And speaking of playing well, Duke got the win last night, men's basketball. State got the win last night, men's basketball. Their net rankings are through the roof. It was a fun night to watch some college basketball. If you were second screening it while the Canes game was going on, it is time to talk college basketball, and that time is next.
Move your sports day forward.
I've heard all the tired complaints about the transfer portal, which is wide open. It's like the NFL, right? So much free agency, everyone's moving. But trust me, college is a finite experience. If you had a shred of talent and can make the kind of money that they're making in just 4 or maybe 5 years, you do the same thing. Just keep moving.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
So crispy. And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $6.99. That's right, just $6.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Stay informed with The Rundown, the daily newsletter from High School OT that delivers high school sports news and insights straight to your inbox. Brought to you by High School OT and powered by our sponsors, First Carolina Bank and Smith Douglas Homes. Subscribe to The Rundown at highschoolot.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. College basketball last night. Duke, they got a win over Louisville. That's a top 20 matchup. NC State got a win on the road at Boston College. I'm going to call an audible here and change some things up, Dennis, but I do want to just give an old school Monday night countdown. Come on, man, to Boston College. I'm actually impressed NC State had as much energy as they did in that game. If you were watching, I think they had about 12 people in the stands. And that's only a little bit of an exaggeration. I know it was like a Tuesday, and I don't know if the students are still at home, but it was not a lot of energy in that building, and NC State came away with the win. But it was it was not ideal. But the audible here, we'll talk about those games in the starting five, okay? So both games will be addressed in the starting five. Duke got a big win. Cam Boozer, good day. Second half coaching masterpiece from John Shire. NC State, Darian Williams, big bounce back, needed it, 22 points, all that. But I'm a little jealous, Dennis, because we play the blind ranking every Wednesday, and you go ahead and always play the blind ranking to me. So during the commercial break, we were having a conversation, and I want to spin the blind ranking back at you.
Oh, okay, go on.
So here's the can you get the blind ranking music?
Yes,
just so I get the full feel of doing the blind ranking. The way blind rankings work, everybody, if you don't listen in earlier in the show on Wednesdays, is I'm going to give 5 answers. I have them written down in front of me.
Okay.
And Dennis is going to have to put them in a 1 through 5 position, with 1 being the best, 2 being the next best, on and on. But the deal is, he doesn't know what names are coming next. So he might have to put something first, he might have to put something third, and that might not be if he knew all the names where he wanted them.
Okay. What am I blind ranking?
You are blind ranking potential, I don't know what the people to do the drum at
the drum sounder?
The drum sounder, is that what they call it? Like
the
siren
keep pounding
sounder?
drum?
Yeah, the keep pounding.
Yeah. Okay, go
The
on.
drum pounders, I guess, is what we're going
There you
with.
go.
For the Carolina Panthers home playoff game against the Los Angeles Rams.
Okay, go on. Let's go.
So you have open 1 through 5.
All right.
The first name you are going to get, Tim Biakabatuka.
Tim Biakabatuka, that'd be a great one to have, just because I think a lot of longtime Panthers fans obviously love the name and love the person.
When you go to a Panthers game, there's a lot of Tim Biakabatuka jerseys.
You will see them floating around. I will put him, because I know there's some names that go up there.
You might not get him. You might not get him.
I might not get him, but I'm comfortable putting Tim Biakabatuka at 5.
Okay. Biakabatuka. I'm not even going to try to spell that.
That's fine.
At 5. Number 2, Steve Smith Sr.
Oh, that's a good one. Steve Smith Sr.
He's super scintillating sensational. He's a 3S man. He's super scintillating sensational. Steve Smith Sr. That's my Dick Vitale.
Ice up, son. Ice up. I'm going to put Steve Smith Sr. at number 2. He's still very beloved. He's top 3, I think, overall. I mean, no matter what names you give me, he's at minimum top 3. I'm comfortable putting him at number 2.
Julius Peppers.
Oh, God.
I scribbled these down during the commercial
I'm
break.
holding out for one particular person.
You might not get him.
I might not get him. But I'm gonna hold out for him. I'll put Peppers at 3. So I have 1 and 4 available. So you gave me Biakabatuka, I put him at 5. You gave me Steve Smith Sr., I put him at 2. You gave me Pep, I put him at number 3, so at least 1 and 4 open.
It's fun to do your end of what we're doing right now. It's also fun to be this guy. It's fun to know what's coming. It's like I have the whole thing. Ron Rivera.
4. I'll put Ron at 4. He would definitely. Ron is very much appreciated by the Carolina Panthers fan base. Very much appreciated.
That was not a
by
joke
him.
on Rivera. I think he would be, if 4 or 5 other guys said no, I think Rivera would be a name that could get the people going.
Absolutely.
And number 5, Ted Ginn Jr.
Ted Ginn. You know what? Ted Ginn gets the number 1 slot. I'll take it.
Now, obviously,
fine.
I'm going to let everybody in on the little behind the scenes here. During the commercial break,
Ted Ginn at number 1.
Yeah. So the way that Dennis thinks this is the order for drum pounders to get the Bank of America people fired up. Number 1, Ted Ginn Jr.
Yep.
Number 2, Steve Smith Sr.
Yep.
Number 3, Julius Peppers.
Yep.
Number 4, Ron Rivera, and number 5, Tim Biakabatuka. Now,
blind rankings, folks. That's the game.
The reason why I'm going to let you in behind the scenes a little bit here is during the commercial break, Dennis jumped in my headset, in my headphones here, how we communicate, and he said, just so you know, the Panthers are heavily hinting that the person doing the drum on Saturday will be Cam Newton, which we talked about earlier in this week would be perfect, right? I think that is everybody's number 1 seed, number 1 draft pick. So with that as the baseline for us doing this, I knew I wasn't going to put Cam Newton in here, and hopefully Dennis would assume that I would, so he'd leave that 1 spot open, and it would lead to Ted Ginn being number 1, which I just find. By the way, no disrespect to Ted Ginn. He made some plays, right? Good player, part of his Super Bowl appearing team. But I don't know if you put him over 2 spots over Julius Peppers.
No, I wouldn't. But you mentioned Cam.
Yes.
Because I was holding that 1 spot because I was anticipating maybe you would say Cam Newton.
I almost put Graham Gano in there, by the way.
Hey, you know what? I have a fun story with Graham Gano, but that's for a different time. If Cam Newton were to come back, it's been a long time since he's been back at Bank of America Stadium. It was really since he actually last suited up with the team a few years ago. It's the last time we actually saw him at Bank of America. And when you actually go around Bank of America and even around the locker rooms and things like that, you don't see Cam's image or anywhere. Even though you could say he's probably the most important player in the team's history. You can make that argument.
He's in the mix. I mean, there's the
I'm
guys,
not saying the best.
yeah,
I'm talking most
Sam Mills
important.
and all these. Like, there's completely different arguments, but he is definitely in that conversation.
Yes. The impact that he had on that franchise to take it from, just another kind of team in a small market in the South to now you actually have a front face, or name and face that goes along with the franchise type player. To have him backing the graces and the good graces of the franchise and be around that fan base again, if he were to sound the drum before the game on Saturday, the place is going to be going absolutely nuts. It's going to go, you want to talk about setting like the environment, you're going to have like a college football atmosphere the way that crowd's going to get going. People would go absolutely bonkers for that, as they should. It would be such a big moment for the franchise.
There's one additional request I would make. First of all, I appreciate whoever made the initial call, right? Because I'm not saying you got to put your hat in your hand, your tail between your legs, and go say, I was wrong, you were right. But somebody had to reach out and say, hey, listen, I know it's icy right now, but we got a playoff game on Saturday. Can we put our differences aside for the Bank of America people that we both care about? Bank of America Stadium faithful. The one additional request I would make is make it Cam Newton. You know what I mean? Give him a little extra time. Right? Yeah. Don't play the Oscars music if he wants to sit there and do the Superman celebration and wants to get the crowd extra going, or he wants to bring out the cigar. Like, give him some time to do the Cam Newton thing, because I promise you, every move he makes, there'll be another octave that the crowd can reach. So let him get him going. And then, if possible, put him in a suite, right? Make sure he's got a spot.
Oh, yeah.
And when you need a big play, throw him up there on the Jumbotron, right?
Oh, yeah.
Let him do the Allen Iverson hand to the ear, like, I can't hear you. Let
him dab.
Yeah, let him be Cam Newton.
Yes.
Let him be Cam Newton. Don't treat him, and there's no disrespect, don't treat him like like Greg Olson when he's the drum pounder. Like, they're just different personalities, right? Don't just let him do it, right? If he wants to put like scarves onto the mallet that you hit the drum with, go nuts, right? Let him do it.
Hats for everyone.
Yeah, or at least a couple people. I don't know how those hats seem expensive. I have no clue.
Oh yeah, I know.
I have absolutely no clue. I've never tried to buy like a feathery fedora. But no, like let Cam Newton do it, because one of the cooler parts of what you're talking about, when I've been watching football a long time. There's not a lot of points in time where it was the cool thing in other parts of the country to be a Panthers fan. And it was pretty cool to be a Panthers fan for a little bit there when Cam was at the peak of his powers. But I always thought it was really cool that the Panthers embraced Cam, right? And I want to say most. A lot of coaches try to turn their quarterback into a robot, right? They want you. Yes, thank you for the question, Lisa Salters. Our team is working hard, and we are going to go back to the drawing board after this tough loss. Cam was never that, right? He was always Cam. So let him do it, right? It's going to be a uniquely Panthers day on Saturday. It's a home playoff game. Has to be.
In 10 years.
And Cam is part of that. Yeah.
10 years since they've had a home playoff game.
And,
embrace it.
And that was a good run. That home playoff run.
Ironically, Super Bowl's in Santa Clara again at Levi Stadium.
Look at that.
Just saying.
Would you look at that? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. But of course, Dennis wanted Ted Ginn Jr. to be the one out there pounding the drum.
Hey, you know what? It's what it is.
I'm kidding. It was a blind ranking, but it is fun to do. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. There's a bit of, right, it's been 10 years. There's a bit of that in the mortgage market, right? Everybody remembers when rates are really low and they lament that they didn't lock in their mortgage at that time. Remember, And 2 years ago, rates were down at. Remember, 4 years ago, rates were here. Well, you can't control when you need a mortgage. When you get a house, you need a mortgage. When you get a new job in another city, you got to get a mortgage. When you need another bedroom because you got another on the way, congratulations. You need a mortgage. And when you can't control the timing, what you can control is where you go for your mortgage and how flexible they allow you to be. Miller Lending lets you be flexible. Refi, because they have something called a no closing cost loan. So if your mortgage is a little higher on the interest than you want to be right now, but you anticipate them dropping next 6 months, year, 2 years, 3 years, anytime before the end of your mortgage term, Miller Lending will be there to help you refinance. There are people, Miller Lending clients have refinanced twice in the last 2 years. Why? Because the rates got as high as 8, and they're down almost 2 full points. So of course you're going to refinance if it doesn't cost you anything to get that full percentage point off your interest. Miller Lending wants to help you out. Give them a call. Ask the questions you need to ask. Learn more. 919-447-3377 is the number. That's 919-447-3377, or visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 2502146. We'll take a break. When we come back, it is the starting five, and we will get to some of that college basketball coming up.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and as the Carolina Hurricanes shoot for their 8th consecutive playoff appearance, that's right, 8 in a row, that's not the goal, I should remind you. The goal is being, as Rod Brindamore likes to say, the last team standing. What do they need? Who will get them there? You know where you can find the answers on every episode of the Canes Corner podcast, live on YouTube after games, and wherever you get your podcast. Rate, subscribe, like, share, tell your friends.
Leaves, water, debris. Hi, this is Holly with RoofWorks. There are a lot of things that can wreak havoc on your commercial property, and we are proud to be there for our dedicated customers that depend on us. From helping to design and build the roof for new construction, to maintenance, repair, and replacements, we've got the experience that you can count on. At RoofWorks, we don't want to be the biggest, we just want to be the best. Visit us at roofworks.com. That's roof, WERKS.com.
When sleep isn't working, everything feels harder. Your health, your patience, your focus, even your relationships. I'm Megan Giggling with Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Too often, people are told to wait months or even years just to talk to a sleep specialist, but untreated sleep problems don't wait. At Parkway, care begins within weeks with home sleep studies and fast, coordinated support, so people can move forward instead of staying stuck. Better sleep changes everything.
Parkway Sleep, your fastest path to better sleep. Start today at parkwaysleep.com. Sound sleep, sound health.
Pondering prizes with Cash Pop? Why pick just one pop when you can pick as many pops as you please? Up to 15. Picture this. You pick your pop, perhaps a powerful 7. Now pick more pops like a proud 9, a pristine 15, a perfect 10. Each pop propagates more potential to pack your pockets with prizes up to $2,500. So prepare for a peppering of prizes with Cash Pop from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Cash Pop. Play more pops. Win more prizes. Must be 18 to play. See Cash Pop prize and odds charts at nclottery.com. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. It's a bit cooler tonight with lows in the upper 30s under partly cloudy skies. Thursday will be a cooler day as well. It's mostly cloudy with a high of 63. Friday, we are warming back up despite mostly cloudy skies. 72 degrees is the high.
Weather update brought to you by Blue Shark Vodka, the world's smoothest vodka. Pour Blue Shark Vodka at all your events to lift everyone's spirits. Blue Shark Vodka, the shark that doesn't bite. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell today, down 466 points to 48,996.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. As you just heard, it is time for the starting five, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
On the latest episode of As the Portal Turns.
The transfer portal. It giveth, it taketh away, and then it giveth back, and then it taketh again. And then it might giveth back, but maybe not. And then lawyers are going to get involved, and then your team might be better, it might be worse, you're not really sure yet. Oh, by the way, the college football playoff hasn't even finished up yet. The portal is open, and players are going in and out. Quayshawn Brown from Duke, his agents announcing going into the postseason, or going into the portal today. It's chaos, if we're being real. It has to be over 5,000 names in the portal now. It's 4,500 over the weekend, which is...
That's insane.
I mean, you're getting up till 35, maybe 40% of college football players with eligibility left could be in the portal. It's already over 31. I know that. And rising. If you are looking for a reason, or you are basically hating this and hoping it stops, there might be. It's going to get uglier before it gets better. There might be a light at the end of the tunnel, and that comes in the form of what's going on at the University of Washington, the Huskies, UW. So Damon Williams, their quarterback, now it's like 5 or 6 days ago, reportedly signed a 1-year revenue share agreement. This coming from Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports. Signed a 1-year revenue share agreement with the University of Washington worth about $4 million. What was it? Yesterday, Damon Williams decided to put his name into the transfer portal. And his agents announced that he would be. There's going to be a legal battle. The agreement, which the document signed, is a Big Ten template used by all members, and according to Dellinger, is built for situations like this. The Big Ten paid their big money lawyers a ton to come up with a document that once it is signed, it is supposed to handcuff you for the length of the agreement to the university. The agreement prohibits a player from entering the portal once signed, and prohibits the player's NIL rights to be used by any other school. So that's kind of like a grant of rights to the school. They're going to fight this. Now, 2 questions. 1, can you imagine if Washington wins and Damon has to go back and play for Washington? How awkward that would, just to walk into the locker room and be like, all right, fellas, we're a family, brotherhood. Let's go play. I know I tried to leave. Never mind. But secondly, it's going to take millions of dollars on the line, big lawyers, big deal, to enact change. And if we're being real, I've never seen a situation that is this ugly and disorganized and chaotic that has a more obvious solution. Collective bargaining, which means the players have to unionize, and long-term contracts. Because do you know what the issue is? This is the issue with the transfer portal. I know exactly what it is. And I hear all of you, the issue with the transfer portal is kids today don't want to compete. They just want to run around. And no, the issue is this. When the teams have all the leverage, when the schools have all the leverage, they can't use it. So then when the players have all the leverage, they can run amok. When do schools have the most leverage? When players are coming out of high school. That's when players have the most, when schools have the most leverage. What if at that point in time, the school could say, all right, we're going to give you a chance. Your dream is to play college football. We'll give you that chance, but we want you to sign an agreement that says it's a 3-year contract, and if you leave, there's a hefty buyout that you're going to have to pay back to us. Or maybe you're not even allowed to leave, right? We own your rights for 3 years. That's how contracts work, like in the NFL, right? You can hold out, and we can just say no, like treat it like a professional. That way, say somebody has a big freshman year, and they're like, now I want to go cash in. They can't because you had the leverage and locked them in. Meanwhile, the way it works now is as soon as the players have any kind of leverage, they just leave, and then they have leverage usually for the rest of their career, and the schools never get their get back. Collective bargaining, union, followed up by multi-year contracts and buyouts, and all this will go away. Not completely, but it'll be much less crazy.
So this is according to Pete Thamel of ESPN. He posted this about 3 hours ago. Some different key items regarding the player from Washington that you mentioned, Damon Williams. One, the buyout in the contract reads that the cost of the buyout is in the, quote, sole discretion of Washington. So
that's why you need a union to protect the players.
Exactly. Number two, the contract specifically states that, quote, the institution is not obligated to enter the student-athlete into the transfer portal or otherwise assist or facilitate the student-athlete's transfer to another college or university.
Underrated part of what unionizing and collective bargaining would do.
What's that?
They could then, like the NFL, like the NBA, like Major League Baseball, all do, NHL, you could certify agents and make sure they're legit. Because I think a big part of the problem is that there's a bunch of guys, bunch of ladies going around. They bought a blazer, they have a sports coat, and they have no clue what they're doing. And they're being an agent, and they're advising people poorly. And if you just had a certification process and the union had to make sure and there were law degrees involved, I think players would be making much more informed decisions.
By the way, their head coach could leave right now for another job if he wanted to.
As long as he pays, I assume, a hefty buyout.
Yeah, but still.
That is pre-negotiated and not to the discretion of the school.
Exactly.
Can you imagine if Washington was like, your buyout is Dr. Evil, $900 billion. All right, we'll see how it goes. But I do think it has to get very ugly very quickly in order to enact change. Nobody changes things when it's not a problem. They change when it costs them money and wins. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Skip pass to the left wing for McNeil, who two-hands it up top for Williams. He steps into a high Yorker and has it right down the center of the pipe. Williams is up to 22 points.
And that's exactly what NC State needed to run the shot clock down.
NC State men's basketball last night beat Boston College on the road. They were on a ridiculous road losing streak. It was something like 10 or 15 games they had lost consecutively on the road, and they finally snapped that streak with a 79-71 win over Boston College. I'm going to give Will Wade some credit here. After the game, which, by the way, Darian Williams, their big money superstar preseason ACC player of the year, had been in a funk. I think he had scored 16 points over the previous 3 games combined. He scored 22, including 4 threes against Boston College. That is massive for them to get him back on track. And after the game, NC State coach Will Wade told Matt Chazanow, voice of the Wolfpack, that with Trey Holloman out, Trey Holloman, their veteran point guard transfer from Michigan State, with him out, Darian played point guard for us. This is the quote from Will Wade. Darian played point guard for us, which is something I think we're going to stick with. I like that adjustment. The thing that has frustrated me about Darian Williams is not the low scoring totals. It's the low usage that led to the low scoring totals. The low shot attempts, right? The guy needs to be aggressive. He needs to have the ball in his hands. And if him off ball, him playing wing, him playing, the 3, the 4 is not allowing him to have the usage that he should, play him at point guard, play him point forward, put the ball in his hands. Also, Darian Williams talked after the game about the recent comments that Will Wade made about basically defending Darian Williams. He's playing winning ball. He's impacting winning, whatever the words were. Williams said, "It meant a lot. I've been struggling recently on the offensive end, and he's always told me he had my back. When he does it in the media, it's a little different." So there could have been some coaching in the media going on there, maybe trying to rewind some of the stuff that was critical earlier on and show that he has his players back. I will say it's going to be exhausting to follow NC State if this continues. After every win, it's lovey-dovey. After every game they play well, it's lovey-dovey. This guy's great. Oh, we played fantastic. Oh, we're going to keep doing that. After every game they see is bad, it is combative. It is angry. It is all over the place. And if that continues all season, I mean, goodness gracious, we're just going to be – it's like watching a tennis match, just heads snapping back and forth left and right. But a win, 79-71, and their net ranking continues to be very high, which I think they're gonna lean on when it comes resume time for tournaments, seeding and or making the tournament. That is number 4. How about we get to number 3?
Caleb off of the screen set by Cameron Boozer. Up by 6, looking for more. Into the paint, back outside. Boozer at 3. Good! When Caleb's not scoring, he's finding others. Cameron's got 24.
Duke beat Louisville last night. This is one of the big fish on Duke's conference schedule. They play Louisville twice as their secondary rival. I forget what they call it. Secondary opponent. They play UNC twice every year. And this year they're playing Louisville twice as that second rotating opponent. That they play twice, everybody else they play once. That gives them a lot of opportunities for big games because UNC is going to be a top 20 team and Louisville will likely be a top 20 team. That's 4 in-conference top 20 games that they get. And they've won the first. Social media is kind of cool in this way. You can kind of spy on the other team, right? It used to be after a Duke-Louisville game, before social media, if you wanted to know what the Louisville faithful were saying, you had to have a friend in Louisville and call them and ask them what they said in the newspaper. But with social media, you can just search a hashtag and you're there. So I have a quote from Mike Rutherford, who publishes the Card Chronicle and hosts a radio show that covers Louisville. Mike Rutherford said, "I love Pat Kelsey." This is somebody that covers Louisville, and Pat Kelsey is their head coach. "I love Pat Kelsey, but let's just be real. This is the 3rd straight second half where John Shire has absolutely put him in a body bag. The last 3 times Duke has played Louisville, Louisville has had the lead at halftime, and Duke has absolutely lit him up in the second half." That's a pretty good sign your coach knows what's going on there, right? Knows what's button. Even if it's not big schematic changes like, hey, we're gonna start playing zone and you're gonna be the point guard. It's not big schematic changes. It could just be knowing what buttons to push for the personalities in your locker room. And Shire has it going with this Duke team. They have not played exceptional in the first half a good amount of times this year already. Going back to their first game against Texas. Remember Cam Boozer had 0 points at half? And then John Shire called him out for being soft at half, and then he had 15 in the second half. He's learning which strings to pull, which is very good. Their defense was very good in the second half. Their offense was a 3-headed monster all night. I have just a note on each of the 3 heads of the monster. Cam Boozer had 27 points on 12 shots. That's insane, especially for a big man. Isaiah Evans had 23 points. He went 4 of 10 from 3. And Caleb Foster had 20 points. That's a career high. We can do math, right? That's 70 points between the 3 guys. They only scored 84 as a team. 27, 23, and 20. The rest of the team scored 14. There you go. That's all you need for Cam Boozer. Spacing, Evans, shooting 40% from 3 on high volume. And efficiency from Foster to keep teams honest, so you can't just double and put all your attention on Boozer. And he'll get his 27 and you'll be good to go, and that's what it took to beat Louisville. And a renewed defensive effort in the second half, which led to an 84-73 win, one of their bigger wins of the year. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the 2 of us.
Panthers play on Saturday versus the Los Angeles Rams in Bank of America Stadium. The Panthers are going to need a few breaks, okay? I'll put it that way. They are a severe underdog to the Rams. They're going to need a few things to break their way. Their job, if you're the Carolina Panthers, the job you have is to be opportunistic. Let's be real. And I'm not saying this to be mean, but let's be real. Let's be honest here. We're friends. If the Rams play their A-plus game and the Panthers play their A-plus game, the Rams likely win that. Okay? They're more established, more experienced. Their roster is probably better top to bottom. They've got some things working in their favor. The Panthers are still in the building phase of their rebuild. They're actually a little ahead of schedule. But upsets happen all the time, right? The better team does not always win, as long as the team that is a little overmatched is opportunistic. Okay? So, there'll be opportunities. There'll be mistakes made by the Rams. There'll be moments where somebody swings the ball out wide away from their body rather than keeping it high and tight. And in those moments, peanut punch, right? Go Peanut Tillman punch. Knock it out. You have to be head on a swivel for the opportunistic moments that you are presented with. And because of that, earlier today, we talked about some of the under-the-radar players that could impact the game. I'm not going to, bend your ear too much about, J.C. Horn could make a game-changing play. It's like, well, yeah, he's the third highest defensive back in the history of the NFL. He better be capable of making a game-changing play. But names we brought up, Princely Umanmielen, Jalen Coker, Jimmy Horn Jr., Mitchell Evans. These players are players that can change the game as well, and they probably don't need a lot of opportunity to do it. Somebody like Dennis brought up Mitchell Evans, who is a rookie tight end. If you're down on the goal line, the probably conservative approach down on the goal line, I'm talking like the near red zone. We're talking, +5 and 4-yard line, second down, second and goal, 4-yard line. The conservative approach would be put a bunch of size on the field, right? Get your extra tight end out there, get as much weight and run the ball with Chuba Hubbard or Rico Dowdle and try to low-risk your way into the end zone. Mitchell Evans is a big body. You put him out there, it's going to look jumbo, right? It's going to look like you're in a running formation. If you play action and sneak him out there, that's the type of play, especially with the way the run game's going, where you might not be super confident, even with 2 or 3 tries from the 4-yard line, their ability to get into the end zone. If you can score on that play, little risk, not big risk, Mitchell Evans could be a game changer. Whereas even if you put, and I know he's hurt right now, but even if you put Jatavian Sanders out there as the extra tight end, the Rams would know, right? Like, he's not a big body, runs, like, obvious player. So maybe Mitchell Evans could do that. I think Princely Umanmielen and Jimmy Horn Jr. are kind of the equivalent of each other, offense and defense, in that they may not play a ton of snaps, but they also have the type of skill sets that may only need 1 snap to change the game. A strip sack or something from Princely Umanmielen could change everything. Jimmy Horn Jr. getting behind the defense with his speed could change everything if Bryce Young can put it out there and let him run under it. So, like, if at halftime or somewhere in the third quarter you look around and it's a close game and you've gotten 1 or 2 plays that were very big plays from names that maybe you weren't expecting, that's where I'm going to start to believe, right? Early on, I'm going to go, this is good experience, this is good learning, right? Hey, let's keep it close. Let's see what happens. If it's like third quarter, it's a 1-score game, Jimmy Horn Jr. caught a long one, I'm going to be going like, maybe it's time to get greedy and start thinking about a win here.
Well, let's not forget the first time that they played each other when Trayvon Merrick didn't play in the game because of suspension. Yep. Lathan Ransom started for him, had 11 tackles in the game, but also had a sack in that game as well. It's like that. That's what kind of you're talking about, the kind of the under-the-radar player that makes a big play, which we've seen some of these young guys do at different points this season.
And even, I don't want to call him under the radar because he's a starting corner that has 5 interceptions, but Mike Jackson has made some plays where it's like
pick 6 against the Rams.
Yes, that's one of them. The back of the end zone, keeping his feet in bounds a couple weeks ago. You can be under the radar for like the game-changing play. Like if Mike Jackson just plays solid, I'm considering it a win, right? If he just kind of stalemates whoever he's guarding, where he makes a play and the other guy makes a play because it's Puka Nacua and it's Devontae Adams, I'm good with that. But he can be under the radar as a game-changing pick 6, force a fumble guy, and that happens. Like, you're going to need a few big game-changing plays is what I'm getting at. That's number 2. How about number 1?
Go one! Miller gets this one, a move out front, he'll score! Logan Stankoven against his former team from the high slot into the net, and the Canes have a 3-1 lead.
Carolina Hurricanes won last night 6-3 over the Dallas Stars. And Keandre Miller scored 2 goals. And Nikolai Ehlers had 3 assists. And Logan Stankoven put a move on Mikko Rantanen and scored a goal that I'm sure felt very, very good for him against the team that traded him away as part of that Mikko Rantanen trade. One of the things I say often when it comes to trades is it's rare that a professional athlete learns exactly what their value is. Like exactly what the league or what their team thinks about him. Do you remember the Mikko Rantanen to Dallas trade? Anybody? There were picks involved. There was players involved. There was a whole bunch of moving parts. It was Mikko Rantanen to Dallas for 22-year-old forward Logan Stankoven, plus first-round picks in 2026 and 2028, and third-round picks in 2026 and 2027. So Logan Stankoven, who's younger, by the way, by about 6 years to Mikko Rantanen, learned that he is worth exactly 2 firsts and 2/3 less than Mikko Rantanen. And that's, by the way, Mikko Rantanen super proven. He has a cup, 100 points, like super proven dude. But as a professional athlete, you never want to hear that. You never want to hear this guy anybody is that much more impressive than you. So it probably felt good that he got to put the old okie doke on old Mikko and then pot one, as he called it after the game, against the team that traded him away. And that is part of the reason why last night was so darn satisfying. The Canes and the Canes fans got to chant Logan's better. I don't know if they actually believe it. Mikko Rantanen, like I said, he's pretty good. But when he scores the goal like he does at the end of the period against Mikko, you get to chant it and you get to win the battle of wits. Mikko Rantanen did score, by the way, but it was, Canes had it in hand.
Who cares?
It was a really, really fun game. And for a complete breakdown of that really, really fun game, here's our very own Adam Gold with 2 minutes of gold.
Adam Gold here, and I've got 2 minutes for a few more than 2 players as the Hurricanes picked up 2 big points on Star Wars night as they defeated the Death Stars. Well, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's the Star Wars reference. Never mind, the jokes don't end. And it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Visit parkwaysleep.com. Carolina got off to a great start as the top line delivered a little bit of magic, finished off by Keandre Miller.
Oh, between the legs, Miller! He scores! His first goal since opening night! Keandre Miller! Keys, Carolina! It's a 1-0 lead!
Miller would score again later in the game, meaning that every 42 games, he scores twice. So we have to wait till next season or maybe the playoffs for Miller to score again. It's a joke. What isn't a joke? Brandon Bussey, again, when they needed him the most.
Now a chance for Heiskanen out in front. Bussey challenges, and Wyatt Johnson had nowhere to go. Oh, here's a chance for the Stars out in front. Oh, dear Bussey! What a save! Sam Steele, meet the bus driver. He's not letting you on tonight.
That kept the game at 1-1. Yeah, he would throw a puck into his own net for a tying goal, but Shane Gostisbehere would give Carolina the lead back immediately on the power play. Logan Stankoven scored against his old team, and he danced around the guy he was traded for when Mikko Rantanen lost him late in the first period. Stankoven played well. Mikko Rantanen, Darth Mikko, was booed every single time Vader touched the puck. It was awesome. And then it got a little hairy in the third. Yeah, about half a minute in, Mikko Rantanen gave everybody a hush. You can't blow a 4-goal lead, right? Right?
Rantanen driving his way to the front of the net, and he scores. Mikko Rantanen bulls his way to the front. 36 seconds in. Rantanen's 17th of the season has Dallas within 3.
Well, butts were tight until this.
Ehlers out in front, kicked away, rebound, they score! Will Carrier! Not you think! And Carolina gets their 4-goal lead back at 6-2.
Ehlers really made the play. Nick Ehlers had a dynamite game last night. Will Carrier finished it off. And then Brandon Bussey got him to the house. A 6-3 win. Ooh. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health, sound off for vanquishing Darth Mikko.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm just going to let everybody know now. Dennis, when we bring our numbers game contestants on here, when we're picking who goes first, we might have to see who can do the best Chewbacca.
Sold.
We might have to see who can do
Sold.
the best Chewbacca. After just hearing it right there, that iconic sound, I won't even try because I don't have to. But that might have to be the deal. Thank you to Adam Gold for 2 minutes of gold as always. And we will get to those numbers game contestants in a second. But first, Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical. They do it all. Whatever you need in your house, whether it's maintenance and service updates, checks to make sure everything's running as it should and preventing big problems, or if it's when one of those big problems pops up, right? Something stops working, something is very scary along the lines of water coming from somewhere it shouldn't, or electricity not working when it should, or very, very hot, very, very cold when it shouldn't be. Whatever it is, Maynard Service Company is here for the big and small issues when it comes to heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. You see their trucks out and about, and that's because they're all over our community. Wake County and 50 miles in any direction from Wake County, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week service. Give them a call. Bookmark the number, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or visit them online at MaynardServices.com, MAYNOR Services.com. Numbers game. I teased it, and now it's time. We need 2 contestants. Call in 919-860-5326 if you want to play the numbers game and potentially win a pair of tickets to see Charlotte at PNC Music Pavilion on August 16th. If you want those tickets, you got to win. If you want to win, you got to play. Call in now. 2 contestants, 919-860-5326. That's coming up next.
The Adam Gold Show.
I've been saying for a while, we got to find out what we've got in Brandon Bussey, and the only way to do that is to see how he bounces back from adversity. Well, the start against the Canadiens has provided that adversity, and now we'll see going forward how he reacts. Does he bounce back and play great in his next start? Does he string a whole bunch of great starts together? Then we'll know.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
I'm very honored by this award, and I always just try to work really hard in school and soccer, and it's nice to be recognized with something this special.
The Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month from 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union. To nominate your athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. Lenovo is celebrating 20 years in the Triangle. While a lot has changed, our passion for people and technology hasn't. We're excited for what the next 20 years will bring as we continue to deliver cutting-edge solutions that drive progress, power, and smarter technology for all.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy plates, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Hey, folks. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. It's the new year. 2026 is upon us. I know you're listening to this and you've already thought about what you want to do for your weight loss goal this year. Eating healthier, losing weight, getting in better shape, all those things. Look no further than Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Their program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center has helped thousands of people lose 10 to 20% of their body weight in 60 days. I'm one of those people. I lost over 40 pounds thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and most importantly, I've maintained the weight that I've lost. That was over 15% of my body weight that I lost thanks to the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Schedule your free 15-minute phone call to learn more. Call Raleigh Weight Loss Center at 919-897-7506 or visit them online at RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. 919-897-7506, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up that free 15-minute phone call. Get on that weight loss journey to start the new year and visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. The prize for today, going to the winner, will be a pair of tickets to see Avenged Sevenfold with Good Charlotte at PNC Music Pavilion on August 16th. That's this summer. The contestants, I should say. Frank and Clayton and Adam and Holly Springs. They'll battle it out with jersey number trivia for the tickets. As always, we'll bring each of them onto the show, ask them the same question. Dennis will be the judge and pick his favorite answer, and that person will get to go first. Starting with Frank and Clayton. Frank, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. The question for today is inspired by the Chewbacca sound at the end of 2 Minutes of Gold today. Can you give us your very best Chewbacca impression?
Oh, boy. I was practicing while I was on hold, so I don't know. Let's give it a go here. Ready? Whoa!
I respect it. The practice showed. All right, you got to prepare. Any follow-up questions?
I don't know. I think Chewy's going through puberty in that one, but that's fine. That's all right. Let's go on to the next one.
There was a voice crack in the middle. All right, Frank, appreciate it. Let's go to Adam in Holly Springs. Adam, can you hear me?
I can.
All right, perfect. You are up. Can you please give us your very best Chewbacca impression?
I'll do my best.
Chewbacca was hurt.
I think he was wounded and sick.
All right, Dennis. Frank or Adam, which Chewbacca was better?
I can't choose the wounded Chewbacca.
I mean, neither was healthy.
No. One was just growing up. The other one was wounded. I'm going to go with Frank on this one.
All right, Frank, you get to go first. Congratulations for the win with the Chewbacca impression. Adam, don't worry. You will have your chance. You just have to stay on hold. Maybe use it to feel better. Frank, are you ready to pick a category?
I am.
All right. The categories are NFL players, Panthers throughout history, NFL players, Rams throughout history, NBA players that were born south of the equator, or NHL Hurricanes only.
The Hurricanes only.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. I will give you the team in this category, even though we know it, just because keeps it fair with a couple of the other categories. Timing-wise, any questions before we get started?
No, we're all good.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Yes, Barry Kokaniemi, Carolina Hurricanes.
82.
Correct. Antti Ranta, Carolina Hurricanes.
32.
Correct. Sandis Ozolins, Carolina Hurricanes.
8.
Correct. Zach Dalpe, Carolina Hurricanes.
15.
Incorrect. Jacob Nakladal, Carolina Hurricanes.
Oh, gosh. 42.
Incorrect. Zach Dalpe, Carolina Hurricanes.
17.
Incorrect.
No.
Jakob Nakladal, Carolina Hurricanes.
25.
Incorrect. Zach Dalpe, Carolina Hurricanes.
28.
Incorrect. Jakob Nakladal, Carolina Hurricanes.
I
always feel so bad when somebody goes 20 and it's in the 20s, because in my brain I'm going like, say 22. You went with 28. So 22 is the answer there, and Nakladal, 14. I apologize if I mispronounced some of those.
Sandis
Olazins. Did my best. Sometimes when you read, it gets a little crazy. But you did get 3 of them, and you got them quick, so I appreciate it. And then stay on the line. We'll see if 3 holds up. That brings us to Adam in Holly Springs. Adam, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, the categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL Panthers throughout history, NFL Rams throughout history, or NBA players born south of the equator.
Let's go with NFL Rams throughout history.
All right. The categories, Rams throughout history. I'll give you the player and the team. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There'll be 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You need at least 4 for the victory. Any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Jared Goff, Los Angeles Rams.
16.
Correct. Bobby Wagner, Los Angeles Rams.
81.
Incorrect. Terrence Ferguson, Los Angeles Rams.
58.
Incorrect. Bobby Wagner, Los Angeles Rams.
83.
Incorrect. Terrence Ferguson, Los Angeles Rams.
Pass.
Cam Akers, Los Angeles Rams.
91.
Incorrect. Bobby Wagner, Los Angeles Rams.
56.
Incorrect. I appreciate the fact that you were just throwing darts and not giving up. But you did only get
tough.
1, so that's not enough for the win. Jared Goff, 16, you got that one. Bobby Wagner, probably better known as number 54 for Seattle. He flipped him with the Rams. 45 is the number that he wore with the Rams. Terrence Ferguson, the young tight end, number 18. And Cam Akers wore 2 numbers during his time with the Rams, number 3 and number 23. Unfortunately, as I said, not enough for the win, but hopefully you had some fun, and thank you for playing along with our Chewbacca impressions.
Thank you.
All right. And that means the winner is Frank and Clayton. Frank, congratulations. Won yourself some Avenged Sevenfold tickets. All you have to do is stay on the line, and Dennis will grab the info he needs to grab.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. By the way, just to update you on something we talked about earlier today, Cam Newton's going to be the keep pounding drum pounder for the Carolina Hurricanes on Saturday. The news is now circulating online. That's the right call, right? That's the right call. It's a home playoff game. Cam Newton, I don't even know if everybody pays attention to this like we do because we're super duper sports nerds, but the relationship between the Carolina Panthers as an organization and Cam Newton has not been the strongest, right? He's been critical on his podcast. If you walk around, even like the internal parts of the stadium, you don't see nearly enough Cam Newton. He is the only league MVP in franchise history. He's obviously a quarterback that led them to the Super Bowl, didn't win it, but got him there. The career records are numerous, and it's weird that his presence is kind of absent. So with the team having a home playoff game for the first time in years, bringing Cam back just adds to the big game feel, right? It makes it more of an event. He will be pounding the drum, and I think and I hope this is one of those events that can bring him back into the fold, make him more of a presence, because let's be real, there's an entire generation of Carolina Panthers fans that became Panther fans because of, I'm not going to say because of Cam exclusively, although he's a big part of it, but because of the Cam Newton era teams that had a lot of success, won a lot of games, had a good time doing it, right? I actually, there's certain, weird legacies across the NFL. One of them is, have you seen a turnover this year in the NFL? Any interception, any fumble recovery? What do they do exactly immediately after that turnover? You see whoever made the turnover and has the ball stand up and they point to an end zone, and the entire defense and sometimes guys off the sideline all run down to that end zone, and there's cameras and they do the whole celebration. That's a strange legacy of that specific era Panthers, right? They used to celebrate as a full group on the sidelines in the end zone a lot, and it became really cool pictures, right? You had pictures of everybody dabbing. You had pictures of everybody surrounding Cam for the Superman. You had pictures of, and it became something that other teams went, oh, those pictures are awesome. We want those too. And now that's just commonplace in the league. They're trendsetters. Cam Newton, you can say a lot about him, right? You can say he never developed enough as a passer. You could say he depended too much on his raw physical tools. You can say whatever. You could say he should have dove on the fumble, right? You can say whatever you want to say. One of the things you better say is the dude was a trendsetter. He was a unique person that, ready for this because he's about to be the keep pounding drum guy. He beat to his own drum. He marched to his own rhythm, and the entire really state of North Carolina followed him for a good portion of a decade. So with him being back, I think it's really, really cool. I think it's going to add to the vibes in that room, in that arena. And I'll tell you just a quick personal story. So what I do, I played at the University of Delaware. I try to, and I think I've done it every year my son's been alive, take the family to a Delaware game once a year, right? Just it's my supporting the program and also showing them something that was so important to me. I've been lucky in that Delaware keeps coming down close to. I saw him at Campbell. I saw him at NCAA. I saw him at Wake Forest. But when I was living in Virginia, they played at William and Mary and brought the whole family to William and Mary. And on that team, I believe it was Cam Newton's little brother, and Cam showed up. He was at the game. We were at William and Mary, and Cam showed up, and it was hilarious. Like 3 or 4 people that I do not know just started a conversation with, did you see Cam Newton's here? Just a guy sitting next to me, right? Hadn't talked the whole game. Did you see Cam Newton's here? I'm in line to get a pretzel, right? I'm in line at the concession stands. People behind me. Hey, so did you see Cam Newton's here? He's just one of those people that when he walks into a room, he's hard to miss because he's gigantic and he's usually wearing a hat that's noticeable. He has a smile and a personality that draws people in, and it raises the energy in the room. So the Carolina Panthers are going to benefit from that when he brings that energy out of everybody in Bank of America Stadium on Saturday.
He had that aura before aura became a thing.
Yeah, he was at the precipice of aura.
Yeah.
Swag is probably what they called it.
Yeah,
back
exactly.
then.
Back then he had it.
Now that's old. That's like saying he's groovy. Like he's rad. He's swagged out.
I love that you're hip to the new lingo there, Tim.
Hey, aura. I got aura. I don't have aura. I'm saying I understood aura.
Okay.
That didn't prove it, did it?
No, it did not.
Made it sound worse.
It really did, actually.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9
really
The Fan. Does Matt Stafford have aura?
I bet he does.
We'll see on
With
Saturday.
that shiny ring on his finger from winning a Super Bowl a few years ago.
That's glow. I call that glow.
There you go.
Super Bowl glow. Hopefully he doesn't have the glow on Saturday. What does Matt Stafford say about the Panthers, especially off of the loss the Panthers handed him a handful of weeks ago? We're going to play some audio for you coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Evan Canty and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Something seems amiss between the relationship of Harbs and Lamar Jackson. I understand that nobody wants to blame either one of them for the lack of success they've been able to achieve since 2018, but at some point, something has to change in order to get a different result, and I think that the head coach is by far the easier to make a move.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Don't miss incredible deals at Macy's One-Day Sale today. Save on what you need to get ready for cooler weather with limited time specials so good they won't last. Like fall cardigans, 40% off. Shoes for her, 30 to 50% off. And reversible comforters, 60 to 70% off. Plus, Macy's Star Rewards members earn rewards on every purchase except gift cards, services, and fees. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $6.99. That's right, just $6.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis, do you have a good Chewbacca impression? Do you have one in your bag of tricks?
I do, actually.
Do you? Well, all right, well, cut the music before you do it. But now, since you said you have it, I want to hear it. And I want to be able to. That's actually not, that's very good.
Thank you.
Wow, that's very good. I don't have that in my bag of tricks. One more time for the people. Now, what is that saying in Wookiee?
I should actually hit the dump button.
That's funny. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Maybe it's saying "Go Panthers." All right? Do you think
keep pounding? Maybe
Chewbacca would be a Panther fan. The Panthers are playing on Saturday. Postseason football, playoff football. Who would have guessed it? I feel like the Paul Rudd meme. Like, look at us. Would you just look at us? We're in the postseason, in the playoffs. Carolina Panthers. Who would have thought? They're taking on a team that expected to be in the postseason from the beginning of the year all the way on through, the Los Angeles Rams. Ironically, kind of the big question during the preseason for them was Matt Stafford's health. Right, he had the back injury. There was talks about cryotherapy, super cold, whatevers. For a while, there was talk that, and I emphasize internet conspiracy theory ridiculousness, but there was talk about perhaps Matt Stafford was a clone of Matt Stafford. That was an interesting moment. But now there's just talk about, is he the MVP or not, right? It's pretty much come down to him or Drake May, with Matt Stafford having the lead in most counting raw statistics and Drake May having the lead in some of the more modern analytic-y EPA per play, QBR stats. I think it's going to go to Stafford if we're being real. I think it's part.
I could see that.
Part career, kind of lifetime achievement. Like, hey, we're going to give it to you because you had a really good year and you suffered through all those Detroit teams.
I wouldn't be mad at it.
I wouldn't either. Drake May is going to have plenty of opportunity to get his. He's 23 years old. But this isn't about that. This is about the Matt Stafford that the Carolina Panthers are going to be facing on Saturday. And ironically, I think he'd be the runaway MVP if you just removed the Panther game. If you take away the 3 turnovers he had against the Panthers, and he had another 3 turnover game later on. I think it was the Seahawks, right? But then he almost threw him back into the game. If you take away the Panther game, I think he runs away with the MVP. But that goes to show what the Panthers were able to do to him, right? They were able to rattle him. He had gone something crazy, like 29 touchdown passes without an interception consecutively. I'm making up the number, but it was a bunch without a interception. And then he threw interceptions on back-to-back drives against the Panthers to end that streak. They got to him about as well as anybody did this year. And Matt Stafford, speaking with the media this week, was asked what he learned from that loss to the Panthers. Even at 37 years old and having started a bajillion games, he's still learning. This is what he had to say.
I mean, obviously, I turned it over 3 times. One was down in the red zone, chance at some points. We get a tip ball that ends up being an interception. That's at least 3, maybe 7 there if you can convert. And I had an interception return for a touchdown, which you don't ever want to have, and then a fumble late. So, it was one of those games where we just never got into a great rhythm. We kind of would take a couple steps forward and then one big step backwards. So we just got to go play a clean game.
Yeah, the thing is, and I'm not. All the questions we have about the young players for the Carolina Panthers, all the things we're excited to learn about Bryce Young or about really anybody involved, coaches, players with this kind of rebuild. It's a very exciting time for the Panthers because it feels like the whole world is in front of you. All of the things we're excited to learn, we already know about Matt Stafford. Like, a bad game 5 weeks ago is not going to rattle Matt Stafford. He had 10 bad years in Detroit and still came out on the other side okay. He's had bad injuries. He's had dropped touchdowns. He's had bad interceptions. We already know he's made of the championship thing, which I think is kind of a benefit, right? I think it's kind of a weight off your shoulders. You know he's not going anywhere. If you win the first quarter, he's not going anywhere. If you win the first half, he's not going anywhere. And I don't want to make it sound like you're going up against Hercules because he's not unbeatable. But I think he's a Hall of Famer. And he might be an MVP and a Super Bowl away from being a first ballot Hall of Famer, and there's a chance he gets both of those this year. Like he has Peyton Manning told a story I was listening to recently. And I apologize because he was on with Kevin Clark. Kevin Clark, who works for ESPN now, used to work for The Ringer. So it's on that podcast. Peyton was talking about Stafford, and he talked about back when Stafford was at Georgia. Okay, so he's probably 19, 20 years old. He was a counselor at the Manning Passing Academy, which often happens. The college players are the counselors, and the younger players are there as campers. And they put on showcases, little throwing demonstrations with the coaches. And at the time, Peyton was still playing. Eli was still playing, so they'd jump into the throwing competitions. And Peyton said, I went up to Eli and said, I'm not throwing after Matt Stafford. I'm going to make sure I throw before Matt Stafford because whoever throws right after Matt it just looks like you're super disappointing because his arm was that special back then. And as every year has gone on, he's just gotten more daring with the no looks, with the off balance, with all those crazy things that he does. So the benefit is, what does every fan hate that coaches sometimes do? They get a mediocre lead, or they get ahead a little bit in the second half, and they go ultra conservative, right? All of a sudden, every offensive drive is run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. And your defense is, let's play two deep shell. Let's keep everything in front of us. Let's play prevent. And fans just get so unbelievably furious, right? There's absolutely no excuse to do that against the Rams. The Rams can score a bundle quickly because Stafford, Puka, and Devontae Adams. Go watch just the end of the game they lost. Whatever the ridiculous game where Puka Nacua made the catch one-handed with his toe taps, and then they went back and watched the replay, and it turns out it jostled for a split second. That entire game is crazy. Go watch their game against Seattle where Puka caught the game-winning touchdown in overtime. They can score unbelievably quick, which means the Panthers' offense pedal to the floor the entire game.
That's one thing that Canales, remember, he actually said against the Rams last time about the reason why he went for those fourth quarter fourth down deep shots. Where he goes, I had to look on the other sideline, and there's Sean McVay and Matt Stafford. I can't waste any opportunity. I just can't give them the ball back.
Meanwhile, if you were playing, I don't want to be mean, but if you're playing probably the bottom half of the league with their quarterbacks, you get a little bit of a lead, you probably are punting it more often on fourth down. You probably are playing a little bit more conservatively on defense. There's no excuse for that. If you get beat by the Rams because you thought you could run out the clock on them, everybody's going to want to be listening on Monday, because I will not be pleased. Now, if you're going for it and you make a couple mistakes, that's fine, right? Make effort mistakes. I'm fine with that. Make going for it mistakes. Don't get too conservative when you have Sean McVay and Matt Stafford on the other sideline, because you're never more than 4 minutes away from 2 touchdowns.
If you're going to go down swinging.
Yes, and I think that's we talk a lot about the experience. I think that's good for the future of your franchise. Mm-hmm. Establish that you are a team that goes out and tries to win games in the biggest moments, not a team that sits back and tries to have the other team lose it.
I know we only have a couple minutes left. I think this is something we should dive into tomorrow, in the sense of, you want to go down swinging, but don't get reckless to the point where you lose your identity. There's a fine line to that.
And by the way, I'm not saying hey, you get a touchdown and then all of a sudden you have to no flea flickers from the 20. There is a fine line between fearless and reckless, and I'm fine if you flirt with it. I'm not fine if the line is so far in your rearview mirror you can't see it. I like a chance. I like taking a chance. I like all of those things. I like being aggressive. I mean, let's not be comical about it. Matter of fact, look at a lot of what I like the Rams as a coaching staff. Look at how they've come back in games. It hasn't been with fake punts and everything. It's been with telling Matt Stafford, be a little bit more aggressive here. Give your guy a chance to make a play. That's the type of aggressive I'm looking for. And then make sure you're testing it to the right guys, right? Make sure it's Tedderell McMillan. Make sure it's Jalen Coker, contested catch guys that can bail you out of bad throws. That's what I'm saying. Respect the opponent by playing really, really well. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Coming up on Overdrive, we do have some Canes and Panthers talk. And coming up on Saturday, 99.9 The Fan and the Carolina Ale House are hosting a playoffs watch party on Saturday afternoon. Join Paul Ihander, the host of Next Up with Paul Ihander, weekday mornings 9 to 10 here on 99.9 The Fan, as well as our program director at the Wake Forest location of Carolina Ale House for the Carolina Wildcard game at 4:30. While you're there, grab a drink. They have specials every day of the week. Grab some food, some shareables for your group. Paul will have stuff to give away at halftime, so you could be a winner in more ways than one. Bring the family. Bring the friends. Call everyone you know that's a Panther fan that won't be at the game and say, we're heading to the Wake Forest Carolina Ale House for the playoffs watch party. Again, Carolina Ale House in Wake Forest. Paul Ihander will be there. As I said, Overdrive is coming up next. We're going to start with the Canes conversation and then get right back to the Panthers. Until tomorrow, everybody, have a wonderful evening and subscribe to our YouTube on 99.9 The Fan. See ya.
Do you have a smartphone? Of course you do. Do you have a pocket or pouch or human hand to hold your smartphone? Then you have no excuse. Download the 99.9 The Fan brand new app today and take us with you wherever you go. Your favorite hosts, podcasts, and live sports action all in one place. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Finally, there's an app for 99.9 The Fan. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy plates. Where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds. Apply